Hello, welcome to my live. My name is Cheryl Grabowski. I'm gonna turn the camera on in just a minute. I just want y'all to listen to a little music. I'll be with y'all, be back with y'all momentarily. You think I don't know what you be? Come home smelling like perfume. And it's my fault, cause I did everything just to keep you. You just like seasons, never stay wrong, steady changing. I'm just saying, this is how we made it. I want not to for two. Call over when I'm through with you. But soon as I get home, you know that I'm right back down with you. I want not to for two. Call over when I'm through with you. But soon as I get home, see when it come to be you, nobody understands it. You never understand it. This is our arrangement. Nobody do me like you do. Just baby, I'm branded. Sometimes I can't stand it. You not down here, you know how far to go. Come on, my body. You always match my soul. I want not to for two. Call over when I'm done with you. But soon as I get home, you know that I'm right back down with you. I want not to for two. Call over when I'm through with you. But soon as I get home, it's me, you, it's me, you. They don't have to understand it. This here is our arrangement. It's me, you, it's me, you. It's me and you. Oh, oh no, oh no, oh no, just no. Oh no, no, no. I want not to for two. Call over when through with you. As soon as I get home. La la Y'all, we're gonna listen to that one more time and then we're gonna start the show. Feel free to hit the link, guys.
Pizza Hut is about to hook you up with more of what you love. Because when you order any pizza, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Never mind your intentions, baby. I didn't mean to hurt you, baby. You came in at the right time. Dressed and turned in your mind. I started from the table to the end of the bed. We didn't see nobody, so we both went here. I know you got girls, so I thought you didn't care. It was all fun, that's your best friend, and that's my friend. We was caught up in the moment. I ain't trying to break the protocol, but it's something that I want. That's your best friend, and that's my friend. We was caught up in the moment. I ain't trying to break the protocol, but it's something that I want. Yeah. I know you'll be there. It's my fault. I see that. I can't lie I can't lie, can't take it back, can't take it back. I know just how it's looking, cause I'm your friend and that's your best friend. I've been known to drive a nigga crazy, and trying to be his girl or have a nigga baby. Forgive me one last time, I hope it don't hurt inside. Cause trust me, it means nothing. If that's your best friend, then that's my friend. We was caught up in the moment. I ain't trying to break the bro code, but it's something that I wanted. That's your best friend, and that's my friend. We was caught up in the moment. I ain't trying to break the bro code, but it's something that I wanted. Yeah. I know you'll be there. It's my fault, I see that. I can't lie, can't take it back, can't take it back, can't take it back. I know you'll be there. It's my fault, I see that. I can't lie, can't take it back, can't take it back. Didn't know I would have you when you feel it. Tossing single when I don't know what the deal is. Now I'm done, how the hell did I get into this? Into this? Yeah. Didn't know I would have you when you feel it. Tossing single when I don't know what the deal is. And now we're done, how the hell did I get into this? Yeah.
Hey guys, hello, hello. Let me turn this camera on. Hello guys. Let me see. I can barely see me. Can y'all see me good? Hello. Let me go to my live. Y'all, welcome to this Friday night live, honey. This is an anti-bullying campaign. Yes. And we know why. Y'all, welcome. Let me go over to the live and see who's in the building. Let me speak to y'all beautiful people on this beautiful Friday night. It's been a long day. I thought that I would be back in the building before now. There I am on this beautiful screen. Nikki's in the building. Daisy's in the building. Sunday Rose is definitely in the building. D-Town, the happy crocheter. Monique. Hey, Monique, girl. How y'all doing? So I'm so happy that y'all are here tonight. It's some folks in the bushes because we got 22 people and we don't have that many folks that have commented in the chat. This is an anti-bullying campaign. Yes, it is. Anti-bullying and anti-trolling. Okay, we are done with the trolling. Ashley Monet is in the building. Ashley Monet, could you hit the link? And Sunday Rose, can you hit the link? And let's start the show. There's somebody here. There's one guest here, and that is Sunday Rose. Add to the stage. Hello, Miss Sunday.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So I thought you were going a little bit earlier. I'm at dinner. I'm getting ready to go inside this building, so I can't really
Oh,
stay on. But I did
okay.
want to engage tonight.
I tried
So
my best,
I'll probably
sugar, to
have to
get
catch the
here.
replay.
I tried my best to get here in time, but unfortunately, with my job and what happened today, I just couldn't do it. I literally hit the live before I even got home, got everything prepared because I was
Oh, okay, okay.
trying to be here. I'm waiting for Monet. I know she said she would come up, but is there anything you wanted to say before you have to walk into your restaurant?
No, I had listened to that content creator, Keeping It Real with Trey Love, and I have
Uh-huh.
been listening to her prior to with everything that was going on. Like she do commentary just about a lot of things. I think she was in like a singing group or a rapper or something back in the day. I can't remember, but I used to listen to her a while back, and I did like her commentary. But she had made she had did a live maybe a couple days ago, maybe a day or two ago, and she had mentioned that um when we did the panel that I knew the inception of when you and Truth had beef, which I didn't know. I mean, I knew you guys had beef, but I never knew who started it, if it came from Truth's side, your side, or even what started it. I kind of came in the middle, even though I followed you. I didn't know exactly, because when I didn't even know you were over there with the state gang and the sippers. And then when I saw you were over there, and then I came over there and was in there chatting. And then when you left, I left. But I didn't know exactly how it started, why it started. But it was just a lot of back and forth on, your supporters not really checking you about if you were the one who started the issue with True, or True started. And I just wanted to let her know, because she mentioned it on her live, that I should have addressed you about it. And I just wanted to let her know that I didn't know the timeline of the actual beef. I knew that there was beef, but I didn't know who initiated it, I guess, is what I was trying to say. That's all.
Okay, well, I can help you out with that since she's not here. Um, so I don't know why she's, and I know you got to go. I don't know why she's under the impression that I started anything. That is not what happened. That is not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was I was listening to one of Truth's lives that day. I think she was on Money Boy Trey's panel that night. And the next thing I know,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't alarmed or anything, just listening. And then all of a sudden, I get calling bitches and liars. And she doesn't trust me, and bitch this, and I'm a liar that. That's what happened. And then I hit my live. You know how I do, Sunday Rose. I hit my live and ate
Mm-hmm.
her up like Q did when she came into the chat. Same thing.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
Benny.
I didn't know what was going on, but I just wanted to put that out there. And I know you had invited Truth to a panel, which, like I said, and we all know, I think you even know that Truth wouldn't come over, but keeping it real with Trey Love said she would come at her place, and that she wanted
Well,
to address some things with you. We reached out to each other,
she'll
and
come
she
in her place. Oh,
not really come at her place, but come over. And she had some things that she wanted to ask you, and it wasn't on any like a disrespect type thing, but it was just kind of like she wanted to see exactly. She had some questions for you. I don't know exactly what all questions they were, but she seemed like she wanted to come in peace. So that's why, I told her, like, and you said she was welcome to hit the panel. So, but like I said, I thought it
well,
would be a
all
little bit early, and I don't want to.
yeah, everybody
Go
is
ahead.
welcome to hit the panel. I just want to let everybody
Right.
know that the way that I envision YouTube is completely different than what they've ever done. Anybody and everybody can hit this panel.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Sunday, I don't want to hold you up, boo. Go on in there and get you some dinner. And
All
I
right.
really, yeah,
You
I
guys
wish
enjoy
I.
your night. Hi, Daisy.
Yep.
Daisy Wright
Hey,
said hi,
Sunday
and I was just
Rose, how
speaking
you
to her.
doing?
Hello.
Sorry, y'all.
Hello. Hello. Who's
Been
that?
on the
Ashley?
Yes.
Okay. Well, y'all have a good night.
You too.
Okay. You too. Hey,
Thank you.
Ashley
Bye
Monet,
bye.
how are you?
Hey,
Bye,
girl. Good
boo.
evening. How are you?
Hey, Ashley.
Hey, can you hear
Her,
me?
I can hear you very well. There's a little echo, but it sounds good. We played your music on the intro. We played two of your original songs that you
Oh, how
wrote.
nice,
It was very entertaining.
girl. I can't help
Ash
it.
Bash, hey Ash Bash. So basically Sunday Rose was just saying that the content creator Trey Love, I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
She did a couple of videos in my honor. I'll say it that way. And I guess she was telling Sunday Rose that she needs to, or the moderators need to, and I don't understand. I really don't understand this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll go ahead and speak it anyway. Mm. They need to get me straightened out with who started the beef between me and Truth. Truth started the beef. Do you remember, Monet?
Um, no, not really.
Okay.
Huh?
Um, So this is an anti-bullying campaign, right? We're here to talk tonight about trolling, doxing, and bullying on YouTube, and how we really need to stop it.
Yes, I agree.
And
I
so, what do
agree.
you think? What do you think about that?
Well, you just never know what somebody is mentally going through. So, because every time you speak criticism on someone, you don't know if it's going to be for their good or for their bad. You don't because you don't know. Um, and like that situation, I did actually go look at some TikToks on it because I didn't see what y'all was talking about.
Uh huh.
And
With the Vegas situation,
yes,
what do you
the
think about
man
that?
was just literally already made up in his mind what he was gonna do because the day before he made a video was like, I am dying to see you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he already had it made up in his mind what he was gonna do, but just prior to y'all was internet arguing,
yeah.
like that is dangerous. It really is.
So, what do you think about? You think content creators, because this has happened, need to reconsider and change their doxing and bullying ways? Monet,
They better learn something from it.
what are you doing? I hear a lot of noise in the background.
Well, Ashlyn to my left getting milk out the refrigerator, and Bluey to my right being a puppy. So
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
you said what?
Is there anything else you wanted to say? Because I hear a lot of noise in your background.
Um, well, what did you have to say about what I got to say? What do you think about it? Because at what point do an opinion come to become a attack on someone?
It was a whole year of bullying and doxing. We did this video. We did two videos talking about the incident between Finney, and his wife, Bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done two lives already. So the thing is that for a whole year they had beef between them, and the two victims that were unalive, and we're not saying that it's okay to unalive anybody. What we're saying is what led up to that. And it was severe. When I say severe, doxing, trolling, and bullying, it was that. They did everything that they could think or imagine to cause mental and emotional stress on this man, including trying to get him kicked out of his place, demonetizing his channel, falsely flagging his channel, and all kinds of stuff. Just everything that they can think of. The husband and the wife did this over a uh, year's time, and to the point that the man snapped and unalived them. So that's what I think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Monet, we're gonna let you go, baby.
Girl, I got a lot going on. This dog won't
Oh,
stop, and
okay, well, it's cool. Okay, we'll let you go.
because he hear y'all. So maybe try another room. Sorry, let me go to the right.
All right.
Wait. Um. But yeah. So the bullying and all the crazy stuff, it just need to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because criticizing people, it does also can cause depression and unhappiness, and that's when all the back and forth going, all negative energy just bouncing off each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though with that couple that I did see that we were just talking about,
Mm-hmm.
the wife was telling the guy that was getting ready to come up and pew pew, she was like, not right now. Don't come over here with that stupid stuff, like not right now. Like she was trying to diffuse the situation. But like I said, he already had in his mind what he was gonna do.
Which wife? The shooter's wife?
No, no. The shoot the pew pew person. It was a wife and a man. So
Wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait a
know
minute,
their
Moni.
name.
What I'm saying is, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that shot the gun or the one that was shot?
I'm talking about the one that shot the gun. I said he
Okay, that's
already
why I was
had
asking
his
you.
mind made up of what he was gonna do. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
we saw the video of him in the car. So what I was asking you is, I think we talked a little bit earlier about, I wanted you to express what you think about content creators. I said this before. Doing the bullying, the doxing, the back and forth and all of that. What do you think about that?
I think it's an issue. I think it's people that's unhappy. Because for you to have that much energy to criticize someone when you ain't doing what they doing, ain't in the same place as them, I mean, why are you doing that? You gotta ask that. You gotta come to a point where you have to ask yourself that question. I just don't, I don't agree with that. I feel like you can have your opinion, but to, criticize to the point where you can cause someone else mental harm, that's where it becomes too far, because you don't know what any someone is going through. You really don't, or how strong they are. And that situation that happened was crazy, but that's just a good example. And then to the police office or whatever, whenever it comes, whoever patrols YouTube, take this stuff serious. See, they're not taking internet people serious. They not. They say, "Oh, that's the internet." No, take it serious.
Well,
So you got,
TikTok takes it serious because they'll take your channel down. But
yeah,
YouTube does not.
yeah,
All right, so we got this person, the boxing person. I don't know who this is. I've seen them in my chat. I'm gonna let you up, and we'll see whether or not you are able to stay up. Hello,
How you doing? I be calling you auntie all the time. You don't remember me?
how you doing?
Good. I'm just chilling. I'm just listening to what y'all saying. You know, I
What
think
do
it's
you
an
think
easy.
about what's going on?
I think it's an easy solution, right? I think the
Mhm.
solution is YouTube, since they so strict with words. They're the word police. You know what I mean? They really strict about everything, pretty much. AI, all that stuff. They need to make it where you could face legal charges for doxing. Let
yes.
Mhm.
YouTube be YouTube. And if
Mm,
somebody tries to dox somebody, they need to make it like legal. Strike their channel. They can't create no other ones. Use their IP address. Get in a personal life since they want to reveal somebody else. I think that's the easy solution.
mm-hmm.
I like that. They
Yeah.
should face legal consequences for going that far. I really think they should. And I think YouTube needs a system. And I also think because this has gone worldwide and everybody, there's a lot of attention on it, I think things are going to change. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, I agree with
unfortunate
you.
though. Them people were on vacation, enjoying themselves outside, And that food. And another thing, don't go live and tell people where you are.
Monet, but
Because
what you don't understand, Monet, the last two videos that I did, the lives that I did,
hmm
they taunted this man they wrote his back. They did. He was crazy, in my opinion. But they rode his back, Monet. They just did the most. Like you can't do that. They fucked around and found out. Like you can't keep taunting someone just because you're on the internet. You can't do that.
yeah, that's a fact too, though.
So
Right.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle on that, auntie. At first, I was
Tell
like,
me.
nah. Without all the facts, I was like, oh, these people crazy. Why would he shoot a man on camera? Like, what would make? Because most criminals that commit crimes, they want to get away with it. I was like, what? Like, he had to have been off. But as more facts start coming out, and I found out, like you said, that they were striking his channel and taunting him and stuff. I was like, well, you can't do that. But at the same time, I value life, and I don't think anybody should have their life taken away. Because I've been the victim of all the things that he was a victim of. I mean,
Oh, really?
YouTube. Yeah, I felt like I had more strength because we grew up snapping on each other. You know what I mean? We would say some of the most craziest stuff we could say as black people growing up. You know what I mean? We would talk about dead grandmas and all that. This is just like nothing to me, you know? So when they doxed me and stuff, I just thought that they was really, really weird and all that stuff. But I never thought about taking anybody's life.
Yeah, me either.
But yeah, that's for
That wouldn't
sure.
have
But
been an
like I
option
said,
for me.
mental state. He was probably already a little thrown
But
already.
I do
So
want to tell
this
y'all.
that was gas to the fire.
Okay, but I mean, they hit him hard now. They took his channel down, so he was monetized, so he was making money. He had quit his job to put everything he had into YouTube. So y'all know how that is. And a lot of people do that, and it works out for them. They're able to take care of their everything with their YouTube money. So he did that. Takes a lot of time, effort, talent, everything to do that. So they hit him there. Then they called the housing authority. I don't know why he was staying in housing authority, but they went as far as to call housing authority to get him homeless. They've already
Mm-mm.
taken his money,
Yeah, I don't know all it is. I don't know
and
all the
then
details.
and then and then they went toward his subscribers, and his subscribers were unsubscribing to him and subscribing to Finney. So they hit him all in. They hit him bad. You know what I mean? They destabilized him in a real way. Like it wasn't just YouTube. They came for his neck.
And you know what? I went back last. I did a little investigation. He did
Okay,
a
tell me.
live where they was talking about his wife. Somebody time stamped it because everybody been going to the dude's lives because the other dude's channel got deleted. But they time stamped it. I hit the timestamp and he was talking about his wife, and I was just like, it made me shift in my viewpoint. 'Cause I was all the way
Okay,
like, you
so which
can't.
one was talking about the other one's wife? Which one was it?
The
Finney?
the black guy. That's Finney, ain't it? The black guy.
Yeah. So Finney was
So the
talking about
black,
Manny's
he's the one who
wife.
passed, right? The black guy's the
Yes.
one who passed. Okay.
Oh, why was he doing that?
I
That's a
have
whole
no
nother
idea.
level. Okay, so that's when the disrespect comes in there. See what I'm saying?
And that just making me
Monet.
believe that YouTube gonna have to stop using bots and start using human beings because a human being could investigate something like that. He could have reported it, investigated. It needs to be real world consequences. Like I didn't know about the Section 8 stuff. Like that is crazy to me. Like I don't understand how somebody would get pleasure on that.
Oh well, well, what I've observed here in the YouTube streets, they get lots of um pleasure out of that. I'm talking about extreme pleasure. These people are crazy. That's what I've seen here.
Auntie, I think we all got a little bit of that in them. Like if it's a car crash, we all gonna look. But it's the line. It's the line when you see somebody suffering, you expect the humanity to kick in and the dopamine addiction to shut off, and you be like, okay, wait, you went too far. You went too far. Why are you calling this man's housing authority? Like, come on, bro, it's YouTube. That's not even entertainment anymore. We're getting like Romans,
Right,
in my opinion.
right. No. I totally agree. With you. Like, no, it's not entertainment. But what I want you guys to understand is that the doxing, and the bullying that entertains them. They are literally looking for power over people, and they do get pleasure out of destroying you in real time in your real life. I don't know if that's hard for you to wrap your mind around, but that's what I know, and that's what I've learned and seen in the YouTube streets in the sector here.
No, I get it. You know what I think it is? I think it's something that's in our biology that gets triggered. Because listen, we live in good times, but our biology don't shut off because we live in good times. It's made how God made it to function. And I think that when you see these shows like what's the show that Donald Trump used to be on? Where he like you fired. I
Hmm.
forgot that. Celebrity Apprentice. When you see shows like that, you see the worst come out of people. Or the dude, Mr. Beast, with his show. I seen his show the other day, and the people who was on the team was supposed to split $1 million, and the only way that work out is if everybody take their fair share. right? And what do you think happened? The second person went in there and took all the money and left everybody high and dry. So when people are in competitive mode, I think it triggers something in our survival. You know what I mean? Where you see the worst in us, and I think that the internet has amplified that times 10. I just try to keep in regulation and regulate myself because we can't be the generation of mental health. Because mental health in the 90s didn't even exist. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, they didn't even talk
It
about mental
did.
health.
It did.
No, it existed, but nobody talked about it. Meaning, like,
No, nobody talked about it.
if
No.
I went crying and told my mom about my mental health, she'd be like, "Boy, if you don't get outside and go play," you know what I mean? Like, it was something different. Then, so if we're gonna be the
Yeah.
generation to try to like recognize that, you know what I mean, and
Hmm.
try to address that, we got to be all the way. We can't be halfway in. Like, you can't
Right.
be out there bullying, you know. And it's in everybody. Everybody at some point has been bullied or bullied somebody. So
Yeah,
you gotta kind of check yourself.
that's true. That's true. But this trolling and doxing, I'm telling you, from what I've seen and this story that I've heard, this is what goes on in this sector. These people, they don't understand that they're not supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that. And we see now why. Because if you rub up against the wrong person in the wrong way, if you push them too far, there are consequences. Whatever, because when you get to stirring up in somebody's emotions, when you get to making somebody feel a certain type of way, you cannot really think that everything is cool. Everything ain't cool. You know what I mean? I did a little piece of doxing. I'm just gonna be honest. I did. I was doing what I saw the other people do. I was like, oh, this is how you do YouTube. Looking back on it, and even at the time, I was like, oh, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like my internal GPS was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I didn't have to stop. I could have continued on doing what I was doing, but I stopped it because it's not good. It's bad. But these people, what I'm telling you, honey, they don't stop. They keep going and they feel entitled to do all of that. What do you think we could do, like here on YouTube, to stop it? Do you think we need to write letters? What do you think?
Absolutely. We need a petition. You know how YouTube have sometimes suggestions from content creators? We need to flood them and tell them something needs to be done about this doxing. Because they do something about everything else. YouTube is a weird place because, like I said, they'll word police you on certain stuff. Like sometimes I go look at my monetization, it's yellow. I'm like, what did I say? It'd be something so small. I'm like, come on, YouTube, really? You know, but then again, they'll let King Von picture be on the internet. They kind of iffy about certain stuff. So I think since this is fresh, I think we
Mhm.
need to channel this energy and then maybe get a petition, maybe just flood them with all type of creator ideas about doxing, but they needs to be addressed because they warn you about it when you create your channel about doxing. So you're like, so you're aware of it, but you're not gonna do anything about it.
I don't remember seeing it when I created my channel. I didn't know anything about, I'm serious. I didn't know anything. Like I created my channel back in 2000, I believe it was 2017. I didn't even know this existed until 3 years ago. I didn't know. I didn't know that these people do this. I didn't know at all. Like, why would I know? I was looking at Beloved eat seafood. Like, how would I know? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
So I didn't know that. So I kind of found out in the worst way, really. I met some people who were just really awful. And to them, it's normal.
Every day.
Every
yeah.
day.
Every
So
day.
you know YouTube like that Venn diagram. So sometimes you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I be into the spaces. It depends on the level, right? So because we all grew up watching Jerry Springer and Maury. So like I said, we all got it in us, right? So sometimes I pull up, I'm like, oh, this is interesting back and forth. But then when I hear yo dead, I'm like, boop, turn immediately. I do not want anything to do with that because you know how we like. I'm black. I'm superstitious. I believe in energies, and now I don't get none of that juju on me. I don't want none of that.
My thing is, I believe in what you speak come back to you. You put it out there for somebody else, it might come back to you in another way. That's what I believe. So I'm very careful with what I say out my mouth, and have more control when it comes to not going back and forth with someone or even giving someone that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have our good and bad days, but you don't want to catch nobody on their bad day.
So Monet, what do you
It
feel?
drains energy.
What do you? Can you speak on the mental health piece? Manning is the pow pow guy. He's the one that did the pow pow.
Hmm.
Can you speak on like the mental health piece? What do you think like? Do you think that he always had the capacity to do that, or do you think they pushed him to that point?
Absolutely. No, no. He's someone that you don't mess with him because he'll blank or he go there for real. You know what I'm saying? So people like that, they really try to not be in stuff because they know how crazy they can get. So like you said, they was coming after him, coming after him, coming after him. And y'all coming after someone that's really not wrapped too tight.
I don't know. I think everybody got it in them. I think everybody
Everybody
got a
got it in
line.
them,
I
but
don't
I
have
don't
that
know.
in
I
me.
think you got it's a certain
I
type
that
that
what
will
my, hold
actually
on. I
make it
just want
there.
to speak on that right quick. I don't have that in me. Trust me, I don't.
Well, I put it like this: everybody has something they willing to kill or die about. Meaning, like if somebody mess with your kids, you'll do it. I felt like his line was his livelihood. I don't think they should have did that. Like I said, doing more investigation, I seen where the dude went live. His entire live would be dedicated to like, come on, bro, you doing 7 hour lives about this man? Like, come on. Like, at what point are you like,
Huh?
okay,
Where?
yes. If you go to that black dude's live and you'll see 7 hours and he doing nothing but making fun of him. I'm like, so this went on for a year? Like, what'd you expect, to be all the way
7
honest?
hours?
7 hours, 5 hours, and then he would show like him on TikTok, and he was there with another entertainer. I think she was doing like magic tricks or something, and then he was like, "Bro, ignore that dude right there. That's like my biggest troll." And it's like, bro, you're harassing this man at this point. Okay, you took his subs, you won. Like, don't exceed victory. You got his subs. Your channel was popping. You should have just went your way. You would still be alive.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. No, nobody told me this. I didn't know that. You mean 5 hour and 7 hour lives
Yep.
dedicated to hurting, doxing, bullying, humiliating, picking on a person?
Yep.
God almighty. What's up, trucker's wife? You want to come up this evening? Do you feel like coming up? Yeah, you did tell me that. I knew that last night, but not on that level. Nobody said 5 or 7 hour lives. My God.
Yeah, well, yeah. When I went back, because everybody's been visiting his page, he's on the news now, so it's big news, right? And I be looking at the comments because they be time stamping and everything, and I just look at their time stamps, or I look at what he's saying. I just be like, bro, come on, man. Like,
So
I
what do you
had a,
think is going to happen? I want to get both of y'all take on what do you think is going to happen in court?
I think they're gonna make an example out of him because Vegas is a tourist spot, and they want their tourists to feel safe. So I think that because Vegas still got the death penalty, and I remember one of the law enforcement people talking about it. So I think they're gonna go really really hard on. They're not gonna have no sympathy because it's about money with Vegas. They call Vegas Sin City, and what I mean, for a reason. And city of tourism, all that.
Monet, what you think?
You said what was the question? Sorry.
What do you think will be his legal? What do you think will happen in court with him? Do you have any ideas about that? What do you think?
Um, like I said, I don't know. If he get a good lawyer, he might have a fair trial, to be honest. Self defense is far, like, I wouldn't say self defense, but the motive, he got a solid motive. So, um, I don't know. It can go either way. He gonna get
You
time for
think?
sure. I feel like he gonna get time for sure, but could he get a less than time because of the situation? If he have a good lawyer, or you know what I'm saying, like if the course is in his favor, you don't know, but he gonna get some time for sure.
Well, I
You
don't
think he
feel
got a
like
good
he.
motive?
Hmm?
You say he got a good motive. What you think he got a good motive?
Yes, 100%. I feel like the reason, the bullying, and all. I mean, they don't deserve to, not be alive today. I don't think that they, deserve what he did to them. But I'm just saying, like, if he have proof of his mental state, I don't know if that would work for, like, I don't know if that would be able to help him at all. If it was that bad, like y'all said it was, I don't know.
Hey, he better show up like Martin. You remember Martin played crazy? He'll be coming around the mountain when he better go in court like that.
Hello, trucker's wife. Hello.
Hello? Okay, there I go.
Hey.
Hey, I don't want to sound like I don't care. It's just that I think that Finney, he did a little too much. I don't think he really knew that, this man was going to do this. But he did also say that the man was mental. So if you knew this person was mental, why you kept pushing him? That's what I was telling you about the certain things. If you know somebody tripping, why you push him? So I'm not going to say he got what he asked for, but he played with the wrong one.
Yeah, play with the wrong one.
And that's just the way I feel about it. It's like this. To me, they both were playing in the devil's playground.
Mm-hmm.
And when you play in the devil's playground, you cannot predict how the outcome is going to be.
Mm.
And this
Mm-hmm.
is the example of it right there. And when somebody get heated, you cannot tell them when to stop. And then not only that, you had people in his chat during the whole conversation when they both were doing their thing, they were egging him on. See, I'm not going to never sit in your chat, Cheryl, if you're doing some stuff like that and egg you on. I'm not going to do it because actually that's against the law too. Everybody that was in that chat egging that man on, or whoever between Manny and Finney, they all were egging that man on, laughing in the chat, telling him to do it, telling Finney to do it. And also, Finney was telling his people to call Section 8 and turn in Manning, because I guess probably was Manning's mother. It could have been his baby mom. He wasn't on Section 8, but he found out he was living in the home. So he told his subscribers to call in and report him. What's the need of that? Your wife did it. If you said your wife started this shit,
Mm-hmm.
why are you on the line attacking the man then? If you said your wife started it, what's the whole point of the attacking?
Clicks and views, maybe.
It looked like it got beyond. It kind of looked like obsession with each
Mm-hmm.
other, because
It can
Manny was
turn into that. It
attacking him
sure
too.
can.
It was like no give and take, because from what I was hearing, they both were hitting each other channels.
Yep, I heard about that. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they both was playing around. But the sad part about it, 2 is gone and 1 is still here. That's the sad part.
It's unbelievable, really. It's terrible.
I mean, the person is still. It didn't give him a right to shoot him, because before he shot him, he had a choice to decide. When he was riding around looking for him, he could have took all that back. Whatever was in him at that time, that's what possessed him.
Mm.
It's total possession.
But listen, what about this though? And this is a little piece of the story, but it stands out to me. It's the simple fact that he knew where they were because of the lie. You in his
True.
city where he live at, and you know where y'all at because of the lie.
True. True. They all were. Well, they
So,
both was
so
lying.
trucker's wife.
Hmm.
So they didn't. I mean, do y'all all agree that they didn't fear him at all?
They couldn't have. The wife,
Mm-mm.
after
Yeah.
after she had got sprayed, she come back and still talk shit
Mm.
on
So
live.
trucker's wife. When it comes to the wife, like, did you see her on live video? Because I did.
Yeah, I saw her on live video. The people were telling her, I guess somebody was telling her to calm down. She was saying that she don't feel that way. She feel that she needs to talk. This is America. She has a mouthpiece. But also that Manning had a mouthpiece too, ma'am. That's why you're gone. Yeah. Manning had a mouthpiece too when he told you don't videotape them, and you did. So I mean, seriously, you got the right to do stuff and he don't?
Which is I just thought that was odd
Twisted.
for a black woman to take that stance.
She did it, and he let
She
her do it.
did do it, but for a black woman to take that, first of all, he's a man, he's not a woman. He's a man. And then for her to say, I can say what I want, but when it comes to laying on hands, that's a different situation. Well, I mean, words anger people, and that's why they put their hands on you.
And you seen the part when he walked up, she said the first words.
Mm-hmm.
She
You
told
saw it,
him,
Monet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she told him, she said, "Don't you come over here. Don't you
She sure
bring your
did.
ass over here." Sure did. And she went up on him first. And then that's when he pulled the gun out because what's name tried to run. Finney tried to run and he pulled the gun out on Finney. And then that's when
Wait a
Finney
minute.
got
So
hit.
he
Then
pow
she got
pow
hit.
Finney
He popped
while
out
he was
Finney
trying to
first.
escape.
That was when her eyes went, "Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't." That's when she went over there and then she got popped. Camera dropped.
Mm.
Camera dropped.
I didn't see it. I didn't see that.
Oh, it's still on. Everything is floating. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
I just
saying.
saw it.
YouTube is a wicked place. The videos are all out there. They're all on Finney page. It's right on Finney page. Go to Finney page and look at his. I think it's the second live, the first or the second last lives. They have not took that page down. They're still showing it because it
His
don't
Nick.
page still up.
show him actually shooting them, and it don't show no blood. So it's not like it doesn't fit the guidelines to take down. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh, they
yeah.
took Manny's page down though, right?
Manning got see Manning page got took down before. That's why Manning got heated. Manning page was gone
Oh,
before he popped them. Manning
Were they
page was gone
traveling to
already.
Vegas or they lived in Vegas already?
Huh?
They was traveling to Vegas or they lived in Vegas?
No, they live in Arizona,
Okay. So they
which
was on
is
a
a
little
hop and
trip.
skip to Vegas. They
Okay.
always frequent Vegas. But that's how they always ran into each other. That's how they ran into him when he was doing the act and she did the videotaping in Vegas.
Oh wow. Mm.
But videotaping, like in California, I'm from a place where we call, I don't gang bang, but people who does, they tell you have to check in. So the kind of thing that Finney did, I don't know if he had friends on that end, but he should have been checking in with somebody. Because look what happened.
I
Mm.
was with you all the way into that point. I ain't checking in nowhere. They don't make white people check in. I ain't checking in nowhere I
But
go.
you feel me though, the boxing. I'm not saying he's supposed to, baby. I'm just saying in that what there was going on with them, how they were doing. They were bickering back and forth. Maybe you not. I'm not saying you. Maybe you walk with your stuff. You hold your ground. You know.
Okay,
Yeah,
can I
I get
say
what you
this
said.
too? Can I say this too? Trucker's wife, I'm gonna say this too to everybody on the panel. Okay, so why didn't you have your stuff? Why didn't Finney have his stuff? Or the wife?
I don't think they were
It just
like that.
seems like they were oblivious to
I
the
don't think they were
danger,
like that.
the apparent danger. It was obvious, like it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? They say he had mental issues, been taunting the man for a year, then go to where he is. And then you ain't turn your location on, but you might as well. He gonna recognize what area that you in. It's like they was like dancing with the devil and then
Mm.
surprised whenever they got killed. I don't get it.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
even
neither.
see.
Hey, Latanya,
You know
I don't
what? The
neither.
trip part about it, how they didn't see when Finney was out looking for him. He said already he went to 3 casinos. So how in the hell they didn't see it?
Wait a
We
minute.
all
Wait a minute.
saw
Wait a
it.
minute. Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah, he
on.
had been watching them.
Trucker's wife. Hold on. You said that Manning told his social media that he had
Yeah.
gone to 3 different
Well,
places
he
looking
was
for
on
them.
some type of page because his main page was gone. Whatever he was live on, probably been Instagram or something. But he was live driving around looking for him. He said it. He said, "I'm fit to go meet my biggest fan." My biggest fan. Y'all didn't see him in the car with the white t-shirt.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, they said he's going to meet his biggest fan. He called him his fan because of the stalking the man was. I probably would have called him my fan too.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Man called his job. It was like, I mean, The girl got sprayed for something that she did. That's what I don't understand. How did it turn to stalking? And you said your wife was to blame. It sounds like very childish. Kids play.
So yeah, that's my point. That's what I'm kind of leading, going towards, right? Because my question is this: with all these different parts, all of us, all you guys that's on the panel, me, these are this all like paints a picture that y'all need to stop playing with this man. Because I mean, stop doing this, because this is not good. And now you got these two grown people, a husband and a wife, and they don't have. It's like their internal GPS is not working at all.
Oh, at all. Ain't no way I'm gonna be arguing with somebody on the internet
Ain't no
and I
way I
know
would
they
have
got
went
a
there, Monet.
mental illness.
Monet,
Knowing
I'm
that
gonna tell
they,
you right now.
girl,
If
listen,
I
wouldn't
knew,
have happened. I'll tell you
if
that.
I wouldn't have even went there.
Me
Mm-mm.
either.
I
At
wouldn't have
all.
even went to Vegas. And what they were doing in Vegas was looked like they was just partying, trying to be seen, because they was all out on Fremont. That's all out in the open.
And Vegas is open carry, and he ain't had no gun on him. That's the craziest thing in the world.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, where was your powwow, sir?
Like you
That's
not
what I'm.
in
That's
the
the
active
point.
youth.
Like,
Like,
Did
mm-mm.
you see the video, Cheryl,
no,
where
I ain't seen no.
um
The only thing I seen was
mhm.
Manning in the car, and then I saw the wife saying that she could say whatever she want to say, and nobody's gonna put their hands on her. And that's it. That's what I saw.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's another video out too with Finney saying that he was going to take I think they had got met together. They might have been wrestling or something, or probably had somebody got injured. I think it
Hmm.
was Finney, and Finney was supposed to have been going to court, taking he was talking to Manny on the phone. Girl, it's a lot of stuff out there. He was talking to Manny on the phone about an injury that Finney had, and Finney said he was going to go to court because he didn't want to have to pay for the injury. Something happened. Something else happened. I don't know if it was the mace or I don't know what it was, but they was bickering about some court thing or some injury Finney had got.
Wow.
Who injured him?
Him and Manny were talking on the phone. They
Okay.
showed where it flipped from Finney was sitting on his live, and it showed where it went to Manny talking in the background. And Manny was saying, "I didn't do that much to you. It wasn't like it was just like that. It was just a constant girl." There go my dog. Stop crying. That's your fault. You have nightmares. You should be so bad. Come on, come on. She having nightmares. Come on. Ah, all right. Yeah, and Finney. I don't know. Sure, I'm gonna have to send them all to you. It's a bunch of them, girl. If you ready, I can fill your night up.
Oh wow, yeah, go on and send them.
And I can. And there's another one too. You should kind of speak on the probably next the riots in California. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep. And they don't
Okay.
tell you what you see on the news. That's not what's going on here. It's deep.
Yeah,
It's deep,
it is.
baby. I live
And I
here. It's
enjoyed that
deep.
speech by the governor in California. I'm just
It's
like,
deep.
wow,
And
that's
I'm not,
refreshing.
you know what, Monet? I'm not mad. I'm not racist. I get
Mm-hmm.
along with everybody, but I believe everybody need to have your shit. Get your
Mm-hmm.
papers and then come back and fight. You know what I'm saying? It don't look good with illegal aliens fighting. It really don't.
Yeah.
It don't look good. And see,
But I just feel like it's a way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all over the place
no, it's a
now.
meaning. It's a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted sure to discuss it. It's a reason why they're doing it. See, Los Angeles is really old built. You feel me? See, they actually letting them tear it up because by 2018, I think for the new Olympics coming in, feel me sure what I'm saying. New Olympics coming in, so they want them to practically destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
They want them to raise the
Okay.
prices and throw them all out. But they're
I
gonna
don't
kill
know.
them in the process. They're gonna smoke them out in the process.
I think that was a distraction by Donald Trump. He
Yeah.
was trying to
Well,
distract from him being on that Epstein list. So he sent, because ICE is already deporting people. Like, what did they really show us? All they showed us was a standoff. That was a publicity stunt. Like, they didn't even have to do that. They could have deported the people without, you
yeah.
know. sitting in the National Guard and making it a spectacle on TV. Like Trump know what he's doing.
No,
He was
they
trying to distract
did.
from that Epstein list.
They did the boxing. I was right here when they sent the people in, the people were running. So what had happened, they ceased for a while. And then what had happened, the people started hiding. There was still a bunch of people here. It still wasn't right. People were still working and things were still moving. See, right now things ain't moving because actually, I'm honestly seeing how important the Hispanic people, the illegals was. They plucked all our fruit. They built our houses. No lie. I mean, I'm for right too because I do know my history. These Hispanics that are fighting for this land are actually originals. See, everything in California is written in Spanish.
That's a
So I
fact.
know damn well I ain't got no
The
business here.
flag is still Mexico colors.
Yes, this
That's
is
a
their original
fact.
territory, but also
Mm,
it's not the mixed ones. It's the dark ones they got hidden in Mexico. You feel me, baby? The
Come
black
on.
Hispanics, the one they despise, the one the white Hispanics despise. The black ones are the originals because they said when they came to America, it was just like little Africa. Everything here was black until the pilgrims started mixing with the Indians and they became light.
Mm.
I can show you proof of that.
Oh, I done
Doggy.
seen it.
I can tell you how black started and it's going to end. They said, what you go into how they put it. Sure, you know how they tell you to go into the light in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I'm all into it like that, Cheryl, because I know that we come from darkness and we have to go
Yes,
back into darkness.
that's
There's no
right.
such thing as going into light. I know that, Cheryl. I don't think I know I don't listen to all of the Bible. I know that we come from darkness and we have to return to darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I know
It's a
that.
beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I know that.
Michael Jackson, the only one
Mhm.
that didn't live up to that.
Huh?
I said Michael Jackson, the only one that didn't live up to that. I'm sorry that my fidget auntie is dark humor. My bad. But I was gonna say this about the Trump stuff. All this ICE raid stuff came at a perfect time. Trump been in office what over 100 days. He could have sent in the National Guard at any time. You know, I was listening to black people, and this is where my disappointment. I never lean one way. I try to like hear both sides or whatever the case may be. And I was listening to black people, and they said we're gonna sit this one out. And they was, but that, and I didn't have a problem with that. But black people was like, oh my gosh, look at how they are tearing up the city. Look at it, they're doing this. I'm like, did y'all not hear about the riots, the Watts riots in '65? Y'all not know
Yeah,
y'all history? Like, you remember when the little girl got killed at the Asian corner store and they
yeah,
tore
Tasha
California? Like,
Harding. Tasha
yeah, like black people got a history of doing that too. And white people were saying this, they said the same thing during Black Lives Matter. One thing I will never do is start speaking talking points of people who don't look at me as an American. That's what I'll never do.
Well, the thing about it is that these Hispanic are literally mad. Okay, we told them not to vote for Trump. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't vote for a damn person because I don't trust Camilla. Because part of Biden, to me, is the reason why we got so many illegals. They let them in. I seen them when they brought bus loads. They were shipping them all around. Told them, come on into America, come on to California. We'll give you Social Security. We'll put you to work. We'll give you what you want and all this other stuff. And now these same Hispanic people turn around and vote for the man who said that they were going to put him out. But actually, what the Hispanic people thought, Cheryl, they was going to do it to us. They really thought it was going to happen to us. You understand what I'm saying? Thought we was going to get back out there fighting again. But now it's them. And now they hating on us in California because we're not joining. I'm not joining in it. I didn't vote for him. You should have sat down like I told you. The
Well,
hell wrong with you?
I tell you this is how I look at it. Yeah, they
Mm.
definitely didn't listen during the election. At the Trump rallies, they had deport them. But Trump said, "Don't worry about it. It'll just be the bad people." We told them then, like, who decides who the bad people is? They're gonna just send you out. But they didn't listen. But this is
Mm-mm.
what I will say: there are people that immigrate over to this country that look like you and I. Like I could get
Mhm.
mistaken for a Haitian. So how it starts is it just be a minority group that nobody fights for. But then how it ends, because when Hitler rose to power, Hitler said, if I just take over Austria, I promise I'll stop. And we all know how that ended. So it
Mm-hmm.
starts with a little bit and then it goes to everybody. So I feel like in this fight, I'm fighting for them, but I'm making it clear it's for selfish reasons. It's because I don't want myself to be deported or black people, but I'm still gonna fight for them. That's my position.
Well, guess what? The boxing. I want to let everybody know this part. When I say that they're not telling you all that's going down, they're not telling you all. They actually deported. Let me see. It was about 6 nail shops, Asians. Found out
Shut
it's
your
not
mouth,
just
girl.
you don't hear everything. Asians
What?
got deported too.
Why
They
are
went
they
in and
deporting the
15
Asians?
because they was illegal too. They got some of them in here illegal too. They putting down for a long time. They've been doing it, and then not only that, Asia don't spend money with us. China don't either, or Korea. They do their business here, but they send all that money back to a country they don't even want to live. We don't get none of that down. Huh? Sure. Trump cleaned all of them, all illegals. Go home. Jamaicans, African, Chinese, India. Some Indians got caught too. Did you
But
see those Indians got
hey,
caught
but
trying to blow
when
up the something? I forgot it was.
I don't so trucker's wife,
Hmm.
you stand behind him doing that?
No, I didn't say that.
No,
I
I'm
I
just
stand
asking.
behind. I don't like illegals. No, I don't. Because when you have illegals and crime get caught, you don't know who's doing it. How would you
Yeah.
know who's doing it if he's illegal, Cheryl? And we had a lot of crime going on in Cal, hit and run. Do you have that's the worst thing you can see is a Hispanic driving and he high.
Oh, I'll say
It's the
this.
scariest thing in the world, man. The
I'll say
scariest.
I say this, Trevor White. If you go
Yeah.
look at all the states that have high immigration, their GDP is all high. All the states, they get the
Mostly
most
what's
subsidies.
that? Texas, California,
Texas,
New
California,
York,
and
Chicago, some
all the high
mostly
elite.
everything water off the water where they can come off the water.
But
That's it.
do you know why that is? It's because rich people don't want to pay American workers good salaries. That's why
That's
minimum wage
that's
is still
the
seven
whole point.
dollars. That's insane. That's
And
what
they're
they
not
really
going to
distracted
get
from.
rid of them. Then okay, what they're going to do? They're going to send illegals home. But the other ones, see, right now, this girl says she went to was it Walmart? It wasn't nobody working. Everybody's scared. Ain't no Hispanic on the bus. When I used to catch the bus before just before we got our car. I ain't ashamed of it. But I caught the bus before. It used to be full of Hispanic. You couldn't even get a seat. Now it's not even one because the ICE is on the bus. ICEs are all like they dress in regular clothes, all up in McDonald's. They all up in Burger King. They all up in Home Depot, just waiting for them to come to work.
But don't you see how that's counterproductive? They're getting the working ones. They're telling us they're going after the bad ones, but they getting the working ones. They raiding nail salons. Those people
Well,
are working.
they found out there was some illegals working in there too. See, there's some businesses that was hiring illegals too. That's why they hit the businesses. They don't trust the businesses either.
Why not just go after the business people instead of going
Yeah,
after the
that's
people
true.
who are doing what's logical? If I come to another country and I'm illegal, I'm gonna try to make a way for myself. Why would you go after that person instead of going after the corporation who keep hiring and incentivize hiring these people? Because in Texas, let me tell you, I go past a place, it'll be a plot of land. I go back maybe a month later and this house is all built. It's nothing but illegal Mexicans. I'm like, where are they seeking these people out that they say that they hate? How do you hate somebody so much, but you need them to build your place for cheap? Like that don't make any sense. That's kind of what they did with black people. They took us from Africa, told
Right,
everybody we was thieves, we was this,
right.
we was that, and got us to build
Mhm.
the whole economy for America.
Well, mind you, not all black people come from Africa. There's black people also resonate where you are. I'm Native American. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm not from Africa. None of my lineage took me back to none of it. It all centered right in New Orleans. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. I don't have any African. No. The only thing I can say that we might have a little bit of African because we had Benin African come into New Orleans docks back when they had slavery and they mixed with us. That's the only way I would be mixed with them. It's from the lineage that came in. Just like I have Spanish in my blood too.
I don't
Creole
know.
is Spanish. I'm Creole. Creole is Indian, Spanish, and black and a little bit of white, but they don't talk about that. It's too small. If you
When
go
I
to
did
sleep,
my ancestry, auntie, it said West Africa, and there was no doubt. It's the funniest thing is that I'm lighter than my wife. She thought she was gonna have more African. She actually had less African than me, which was hilarious. But no, it said West African. Your case is not the
16.
majority. You're in the minority.
She says she's 16. Oh, sure, you better tell her she ain't supposed to be in here.
I just put it in the
Oh, girl,
chat.
I almost fell off my chair. I'm about to
I
call
just
911. I'm trying to see, my heart is racing. No, wait a minute. I've been talking to her like a grown woman. All right,
I
Jesus.
just uh I just put it in the chat. I told her she had to be at least
Yeah, tell
18.
her nicely because
I just did. It's
yeah,
down
tell
there.
her
She
because she's
did.
sweet. She is so sweet.
She is so sweet.
Oh, dang. I wish she'd get 18 by tomorrow because she's sweet. Or
Brittany, we
tell her just
still love
don't
you,
drop
girl.
down. Just don't drop down. Something. Yeah, till she get 18.
Hmm.
Cut to my some. So this is why you know we was talking about a doxing stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I'll be taking like a little break. It's hard to take a break when you're a content creator because you want your voice heard. But I've been trying to like manage that, right? But the level of craziness that I'm being exposed to is just too much. I don't think you're meant to meet this many people in your life. I think that we talk about mental health, that is something that it could drive you insane because you want to have discourse, you want your opinion heard, but you get exposed to crazy ideas. You know, one of the ideas that I heard, and I don't know if neither one of y'all believe in this, but I feel like it's so disrespectful. They said Harriet Tubman was a made up fictional character and that she was a spy. Martin Luther King was
I
a
just heard
settler.
about that. I
And
just
you
heard about
just say, oh my God, what? Listen, let me tell you something. I went to school and white people told me that Abraham Lincoln never told a lie. That's how they look at their heroes. He never told a lie, so he ain't even human. But we can't even celebrate the people who willing to die and sacrifice for it. Like that is absolutely disrespectful. And it just made me feel like we lost.
Well, in Black history, you guys should take it. I mean, really, because it's equivalent right now. In Black history, it's actually totally different than what the white history. They said when Abraham Lincoln wrote the Declaration of Independence, it was not pertaining to us. They don't even see us as human. I think I said this before on Cheryl Live before.
that.
They don't even see us as human, sir. We actually haven't even. We're supposed to go and pick where we are. I think you can put what's the picks, Cheryl? We can go under what's the things that we can go under the names. You have what's the name? What is it called? Uh I forgot. It's where you have like more freedom, and the police can't be arresting you like that.
Oh,
Sovereign
you
citizen.
Yeah,
yes.
the sovereign citizen is better than we're not claiming nothing. That's why they beating the hell out of us. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, sweetie. That's why they beating the shit out of us because we don't mean nothing.
Well, I'll say this. When I was born, they gave me a social security card. When I went to the schools, they made me pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Our ancestors built this country. You know, we pay taxes.
You don't even have to
We
pay
may have
tax.
not been included in the Constitution, but we here now.
We
You know
don't
what I
even
mean?
have to
Right.
pay taxes, babe. I found
Uh,
out on your social security number. It's a lady that it's a lot of people on YouTube doing it. On your social security number, there's a lot of money. They actually make money off your social security number. The government does.
so, so Trucker's wife, I had his wife, Wayne, he my friend. He's an associate. He's a friend of a friend. His
Uh-huh.
name is Tex. He's from Texas, where I'm from, right? And Tex be coming up here telling people not to pay their taxes. And I Tex, you do it. You let me know how it turn out, and then I'll
No,
do it.
I never
Because
said
Tex gonna
don't.
get somebody in jail. He be on that sovereign citizen stuff too. I'll be like, nah, brother, that don't sound right.
Well, sovereign citizen, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Sovereign citizen is a total, that's why he claimed it. Sovereign citizen do not fall under what American citizen. Their laws is totally different. Police can't even arrest him like that.
So they're illegals then. They're illegal immigrants.
They're not illegals. That's a part. That's a citizenship. Okay, if you look at your, you don't. We haven't. Sure, might understand what I'm saying. We have not claimed a citizenship.
But we had the same last names of the people who enslaved us
Well, no,
that built
no,
the
no, we
country.
don't. Okay, My last name, okay, I ain't gonna say that on here. My last name, we took it, and yeah, I ain't gonna do that shit because if somebody
That
docs
now we
me,
talking about
if
docs
somebody
and
docs
stuff. Be
me, I'm gonna
careful,
meet
sister.
Manny. I'm gonna tell you right now. If somebody docs me, I'm gonna meet Manny. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't get down with it. Okay, but I looked up my last name. They're also last names. So you gotta see it, they tricked you on that. A lot of your last names is your last name. Like my last name, it took me to the tribe that I come. It tells me I'm mixed with Creek, and it tells me I'm mixed with Choctaw. My last name, your last name can also tell you if you're from certain tribes. It could be Brown, it can be Gary or Williams. Those are not white people names. See, I thought that, but it's not like that. If you take Black history, your names that you're wearing is the original name of this land. The only people names that got changed is probably with the Africans. The most of them that got placed that left Africa, like most of the ones that left Africa was like Jamaicans. You got they was all dropped off over there. Trinidad, all of them are Africans.
So you telling me my
They
last name
sold out their
Edwards?
own African, huh?
So you telling me my last name Edwards is an Indian name?
Go look it up.
Nonsense. I can't subscribe to
All
that.
you have to do is go. Well, that's the one thing about this. I learned about life. If you don't go search it, you never will learn, and you can't say I'm not telling the truth.
No, because I've swabbed. I did DNA ancestry. It gives you the
Ain't
origin of
that
your
damn
name.
thing lie? It took your money and it probably told you you had a pinch of white in you and some Cherokee and some and Pekingese and a little bit of Gukawanga and all that little bit of baboon and monkey. They
But
probably told you had all it in your bloodline.
see, Auntie, this is where the disconnect is, because I said we grew up watching Maury, Jerry Springer. They did DNA test on there, and when the father wasn't there, we trusted it, and we would laugh at the woman running to the back. They use DNA in forensics. They can tell you who was in the room, even if there's no cameras in there. DNA is reliable. So why, in the case of DNA
How
ancestry,
is
is it not
okay?
reliable?
This is what I'm saying. How is DNA ancestry gonna tell you your real lineage when the white man been hiding it for the longest, and they own that program? Like I
So
say,
so
before
what
you
they do
say
is
I'm lying, search it first.
I did a lot of research on this. I even asked Chat GTP. I did a lot of extensive research on this
GBT,
very
you're
thing.
talking about programs that are owned by white people, sir.
But see, every time I give you something, you just say it's owned by the white man.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm telling you the truth.
can the white man
I
tell the
hate to
truth
kill you like that.
sometimes?
I hate to kill you. Die
Can the
slowly.
white man tell the
I'm
truth
telling you
sometimes
right.
about some things?
You're dying
Because
slowly
everything is
right now.
told by the
You're
white man if
dying
we gonna go
slowly,
there.
sir. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna have to catch you before you fall. I just told you. You need to go search it before you say I'm lying.
So, okay, well, this is my experience.
Like
This
right
anecdotal.
now, okay, I'm gonna cut you again. You're falling again. There you go. There you go. You pick them up. There you go. All right. I'm trying to tell you. When I said Cheryl, the Bible told me that we go into the light when we pass. When I found out, we go back into the darkness. I searched that, sir. It's common sense. A
Okay,
lot of
I don't
people end up
disagree.
in the light. They say once you go into the light, you're gonna end up back here.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Who wrote that Bible, sis?
What you mean? Who wrote it? I
Why you
don't know
listen to the
that
white man? That's what
fool.
the
I
white man
don't know
wants you.
that
You see
fool.
how you play the
Listen
white
to me.
man game? The
Listen to
white
me.
man been conquering for
Listen to me. I
years.
know the Bible been changed, but sweetie, I don't read the Bible you read. I read the Ethiopian text. Get you a Bible that ain't never been touched, sweetie. God damn.
Okay, but besides the Bible. So this is just
Listen to
my
me. I'm not
anecdotal.
gonna throw the Bible in it because I feel like cussing today and I can't do that.
Besides
I'm
the
not
Bible,
gonna burn in hell for you tonight. I'm not gonna do it. I
I'm
said
gonna
I
give you
feel
my
like cussing today and I slipped. I'm not gonna
this is
do
my
it.
anecdotal experience, right? So me and my wife both did ancestry.com, right? And before I did it, I have a friend on my channel, and he swears that he's Indian, and I don't disbelieve him, but I always tell him he's in the minority, not the majority. His experience is not everybody's experience, but he told me that they got somebody to lick the dog to lick a stick, and they sent it out like, bro. So you mean to tell me that they can use forensic science to find out who's in the room, Mr. Mustard in the kitchen with the knife, but they can't figure out if a dog licked a stick or not? Like, come on, bro. So when me and my wife did it, not only did it give us news clippings of people that was way back, but it found my wife's high school photo. How would it be able to do that based off of DNA if it didn't know who it was, who, like, it was too specific. It was able to tell her, like, for instance, it let you reach out to your family too as well, right? So I had an estranged people, because you know my grandpa was a Rolling Stone, that was like, hey, what is your grandfather's name? And I told them, they was like, oh my God, we used to be in Texas all the time. We moved away to blah, 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 blah. And yes, I know your grandpa. And it did all this based on me swabbing my mouth and sending it in. So there's no way that's too that's too coincidental. Like, there's no way.
Listen to me, sweetie. I don't care if you swab, if you use the restroom and swab a piece of that and sent it in. They're gonna still tell you what they want to tell you. Now, I'm kind of tell you, I'm not that type of person. I'm not gonna sit up and listen to what you're saying. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You go search it, like I told you before. You tell me I'm a lie. I
I
like to
didn't say you
always
was a lot.
prove, okay, before you say, well, I did my DNA, I sent my saliva in there, and I sent a little rock blood,
Whoa, my
and they
voice
told
sound
me
like
I'll
that?
check the tea and talk a lot. And I don't listen to me. I know a lot of people did it. And I told my cousin a long time ago I was gonna try it, and she laughed at me because it's foul. That's white people lying. It's just telling you some other bull crap. How
I,
did you get mixed with? Okay, first of all, if I had Korean in my blood, who is it? Who in the hell? I never met him. Where did Korean come? Where did he come in? Sure. Where did Korean come in at? They said we some of us got a little Korean. Some of us got UK. People from Dutch. How did we get Dutch? Dutch.
I mean, specifically, like,
None of my
everybody don't have
there's
Dutch
no
in them. I
Dutch
didn't.
in
I
my
didn't have no
family.
Dutch. Yeah, I didn't have no Dutch in me in my family neither.
Did it say that you had a pinch of something? It's like really like 2%. It tells you 2% of some line. Is like you be like, damn, how did you get that?
They said I had, I think, like 1% Ireland,
See what I'm
Ireland.
saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm
But
saying?
we all know that we mix at certain points.
Okay. So you saying that sometimes you tend to wear skirts and blow a pipe? Is that what
Well,
you saying? You get the little urge
no,
to wear a
Trucker's
dress?
wife.
no, what?
I be damn.
Trucker's wife.
What?
What is going on?
I don't even know what she talking about anymore. What are we talking about?
Don't Ireland wear
No, I
dresses?
don't get that. But what does that have to do? If I got one
I
Trucker's
just
percent,
wife.
that
What
means
is
seriously,
going
it's
it's really
on?
way
Lord have
I
back.
mercy.
mean, seriously,
That
it's
means it goes way back, way back, and it's probably
Okay,
them
so
migrating over.
I feel like what Trucker's wife is saying, and
yes,
I feel the same way too. First of all, as far as our history is concerned, over here in this United of the States of America, everything, almost everything that we learned in school, Jesus Lord, was whitewashed, including our spiritual literature. We know now in 2025 they are erasing or attempting to erase our history now. It's a picture of what they've always done. You know, it's not even new. This shit is old.
yeah.
What's so good about the whole situation now, for not just, check this out, did y'all gonna say, oh, Cheryl, not just for black people, brown people, caramel people, but also for white people. There is a large group of fucking white people that didn't know that their history or the history that was told is fictitious. They didn't know. They believe it too. And now they are learning now about the indigenous people in the United States. We talking about Indians of all kinds, and we are also talking about just black people that were not from Africa. They were already here. Black people indigenous to this land. It's their land, our land. They can't make us leave from here. We were already here. Now, there was some, the Africans were brought here, yes, but black people and dark-skinned Indians were already here.
Yes.
America doesn't belong to Caucasian people. They come out of the Caucasus Mountains. You take your ass back where
Mm-hmm.
thou comest from. Because what they did is saw a land that they wanted, and they came here and did what they wanted to do, just like they do in 2025. Same thing, ain't nothing new. Same thing. But what is new though, what is new is that now we know that we have to rethink everything and relearn
Mm-hmm.
every fucking thing. You have to do your own personal research when it comes to their history books, their colleges, and all of that stuff. You still have to do your homework. And I think it's a beautiful thing because there is an awakening that's happened on the whole damn planet. Because that which, like Trucker's wife said from the beginning, that black and brown, since we began with that, we're going to end with that. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm so excited for the whole thing. And white people are learning. And not only are they learning, that's why I love TikTok, but they are literally saying, ooh, oh, all of this shit belongs to them. Them who? Oh, the black and brown people. Even the white people are saying that.
And the
Yeah.
Hispanics are the brown people. Like I tell people, those are, and I know this for a fact, those are our brothers and sisters, plain and
Okay.
simple. But
Mm-hmm.
not the ones. See, they have the black tribe, which is the tribe of the Hispanics. The black tribe is the tribe is it Judah or one of the tribes. I have to look it up, which is a part of us. They're
But
considered the brown
everything comes
people.
from black though, Trucker's wife. Everything.
Yeah,
And there's
everything
no
comes from black. That's right, and it
right, there's
thins
no
out.
white without black. See, and see how simple that is. But when I grew up, and God, we're not even gonna talk about me, we're gonna talk about my mama and her mama. I remember when my grandmother used to say, "Ooh, them Africans with them flies around their mouth," she would laugh. I'm so, I don't mean no harm, but I'm glad to be over here. You know what I'm saying? She didn't know no better. And we all associate with, the victim complex, or we beat down the white people so powerful, all this, and they're not. They're not. They are red rum people. They have lots of them back in the day, and some would say now don't have empathy. That's the thing. Something is fucking wrong. Something's wrong. That is not natural. It's not natural. So yeah, it's a lot. Everybody is learning now. All of my children are conscious. They are very much aware of
Mhm.
all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna say, to make this statement, I'm not gonna go in depth on it, but I'll just say this because y'all heard me say this before. What's holding the black people back is the church.
I
What's holding the
disagree.
black people? Huh?
You know why I disagree with that?
Please tell
You know
me.
why I disagree with that, Auntie? So
Please tell me.
I grew up in the church. I remember like I used to have braids when I was a kid. I let my braids go out so that my grandma would be embarrassed with me going to church with the fro, so I would miss church because I was there faithfully. I used to just want to rest on the weekend. But now that I'm older, you know what I mean? There's two sides. Everything has duality, Everything's not all bad. Now that I'm older and I'm doing more independent research, I realize how important the church is. Give out scholarships. I realized that, during slavery, when people were hopeless, that's all they had was religion. That kept their
Amen.
spirits high. It's a lot of benefits to religion. What the problem is that people go and take advantage. It's just like YouTube. YouTube can be a beautiful space, but people abuse it. They dox, they do all this stuff. It's the people that's messed up. It's not the religion. And I
That's
feel
right.
like because I'm from Texas. Texas got that pastor that be making a lot of money. Joel Osteen, the richest pastors are in Texas. But they always make the news, not the local pastors that I grew up with that would give you the shirt off his back, or that was making sure that people went to
Okay.
school got money.
Let me say this here, the boxer, darling. The reason why I say that the church is the biggest hindrance to black people is because they have the colonizer's book and they cleave to it with everything that they have it within them. Now, my experience is my mama, my grandma, my apostle friends, pastor friends, first lady friends, evangelist friends, deaconess friends, and deacons friends believe, and this is a horrible word, believe, that that is God's word. And it is not, it's the colonizer's word.
But sure, you know that
It's the
when you
colonizer's word.
a lot of my word doesn't come from the Bible. It comes from God. I think the boxing might understand what I'm saying. When you're really close and in tune with God, He talks to you. Not all the time your word comes from the Bible. He enlighten you. Mhm. And He tells you
I'm
how the
not saying
word
that
goes.
that's not true. I'm a spiritual person
Oh.
too. Me and God been having conversations ever since I was old enough to talk.
Mhm.
So I know that that's true. I'm saying the biggest hindrance to black and brown people is that Bible, and I'm gonna stand on that because I know it's true. Is those ideas, and if you've ever been indoctrinated, if you've ever went to a local church and sat and you were preached to, if you've ever been through that, and you feel like that they give you a recipe of any sort for salvation and assurance and some type of direction from God, that is a problem because it's not. These people wrote themselves into power then, and they are writing themselves into power now. And if you know the doctrine the way that I do, it even puts you at a disadvantage biblically, and it wants you to accept that God had a problem with black people. And there was a curse associated with black people. And now Jesus comes and we are no longer under the law. Okay, let's get into it. And now we walk by the Spirit. Okay. So what I'm saying is the church really don't even really know their Bible. That's the first damn thing. And then number two, people are so busy and spend so many years of their life trying to dissect that book, and God ain't said none of it. That book is about man's opinion, like mine, yours, and the boxer, about God. What Trucker's wife says about God, what the boxer says about God, what Cheryl says about God. It's people's perspectives on stories that was already written way before the Bible was even made. And I'm a need, if you're going to rise in consciousness all over this world, especially black and brown people, first of all, you got to take that book and you got to put it in its place. That's the first thing. And if you don't do that, you ain't even got started.
Well, I'll say, Hitler did some things to people, and he was secular. He wasn't religious. I think that human beings
He
naturally.
did. Wait a minute. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Hitler did know the Bible and he did go to the Catholic Church. He did go to the Christians and they rejected him.
Yeah, but he was secular though. He believed in race first. He didn't
Well,
believe
he
in. He
believed
wasn't.
in the Old Testament is all about race.
Well, he
It's
believed
all
in
about race.
race and truth. That's why he killed
Well,
those people, because he said those wasn't the original Hebrews that we are.
well, first of all, it don't matter what they are. Nobody gave him the right to unalive anybody.
Well, but
What
that's a
he
that's
needed to
a that's
do
a white
was to
man. You can't
mind
explain.
his own business and go somewhere and sit down and stop having a God complex. Because God didn't tell you nothing and leave people alone. That's
No,
the
I
first
don't think.
thing.
Okay, sure. When it came to Hitler, it's like trying to understand a white person. I would never be able to begin to understand how a white
I'm
man
not
thinks.
gonna say that I can't understand a white
I
person.
can't
I'm not.
understand them. I can't. Mm-mm. They do things I couldn't even think of. I'm sorry. Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
No,
well, stop.
Hitler
Okay,
was
we go to.
very Old Testament conscious. Yes, he
Okay, we
was.
go to a different person. We go to Stalin. Stalin killed more people than Hitler. Stalin was just as evil as Hitler. The point I was going to make with that
I don't
is
know
I just
him.
he was a leader of the USSR whenever Russia was the USSR. But he killed a lot of people for no reason. But and a lot like compared to Hitler, Hitler is Mother Teresa compared to Stalin. But the point I was making with that is you don't need people are going to justify, and the religion is the way they justify. I think that everybody since the beginning of man has looked up and wondered, like, why am I here? What is the purpose? And wanted a relationship with God. Like, when there's this dude who wrote a book called Jesus of
Okay,
Nazareth.
hold on? Can I just say right there? See that right there? See the box? That's the problem right there. You don't really have to say anybody anything else. People have wondered, why am I here? And they want a relationship with God. No, you are already. You don't need to want a relationship. The church does that. You don't need to want a relationship with God. You are not separate from God. God is not separate from you. The church does that. The church wants to be God. It is
I
so
was, I was,
annoying. It's
but I
so
was going.
annoying because what they do is, and it's so sad, and it's a white man thing. I'm telling you right now, it's very narcissistic. Black people did not do that. White people did this. It is very narcissistic. You accept me as your God and you do what I tell you to do versus you being a human being, a free agent in this world. And you came into this world to learn, to make mistakes, and to evolve, not to obey a God that tells you what to do when you're a free agent in the earth. No, that is a white man's concept all by itself. You need me, Cheryl, to tell you how to live and what to do. No, I don't. No, I don't. Because when I came into this world, into my body, I got everything I need from that point. That was from the beginning. So nobody needs or looks to the church or looks to God like God is lost. You think God is stupid? Do you think God is separate from his creation? This is ridiculous.
Well, the argument I always hear is that, would if the Bible didn't exist, would people be bad? And I would say yes. See, I think honestly, this is where we disagree. I think that human beings are inherently bad, and I think that if there wasn't law, they would disobey because the Constitution was the structure of it came from
You know
the Ten
why?
Commandments. Because
You
people
know
are
why?
inherently bad. People are inherently bad. That's why. That's
No,
why people are made to be told what to do.
no.
If
People are
tomorrow they
not
came up with the,
inherently bad.
they
I
are.
don't agree with I don't agree with that because I know people in my real life, like I know people on my journey. So I'm 54, so I've been on this journey for 54 years. I've known people who are kind by nature, very much way kinder than anybody who's ever put their foot in a church or have ever been preached to or indoctrinated. They are kind-hearted, sweet, gentle, and kind. They would never do anything to you. It's people like plenty of people in this world who are just like that.
Kind people still do bad stuff. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If they didn't have when you go to jail for unaliving people, how many people would unalive people in the moment of anger? They wouldn't think because
Not
the
a whole
law's
lot
there.
because they don't got murder in their heart. I wouldn't fucking dare.
So there's nothing. There's no
I don't
situation where
even hear
somebody
people
harming your
talking about
kid.
unalive people.
So somebody harming your kids, you wouldn't do nothing to them.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's not in my heart.
It's not in nobody's heart until that
Yes, it
time
is.
comes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've met people who are mean and they've been mean from the beginning.
A
Some
lot of
people
them
do got it
people
in their
are
heart.
just like that. You got people that live and look shit. There's a lot of them that look mean shit. That's just how they are. And they're the
Right.
nicest
So
damn people in the world.
it's people like, no, you don't need no God or no savior or anybody to come and save you. You need to live and learn and evolve. You don't need that because that's how the Caucasian have been in authority because they made this God. Is very narcissistic. It's very narcissistic because if you really think about it, this God that made this whole thing is his fault. But he don't want you to hold him accountable because he's God. Who that sound like to you?
I don't know, Cheryl. I'm
I said,
listen
who do
to me,
that sound
baby.
like to you?
Cheryl, no, I'm going to tell you how it sounds to me. And I'm gonna be honest. Listen to me, baby. From childhood, I was raised by a Baptist, and now I'm Hebrew. And one thing I do know, and I'm afraid of, I will never tell someone what. Okay, just say like right now you're saying The Bible, the way we're doing it with the Bible. Just say if it's incorrect how you're telling me and I follow it. Do you know you held accountable for that, right?
I ain't worried about that. I'm held accountable for a lot. I'm on a journey. I don't follow no fear-based religion. I don't deal with fear. Because this is the first thing. You cannot evolve if you're walking around scared of everything. And
No, I
especially
don't fear
scared of
no
some
one but God. I don't fear no
paranoid,
one but God.
vindictive God. No, y'all do not understand that this religion have destroyed this world. All of them. All
Okay,
of them.
Cheryl, who made you? Who made you, baby? Who made you? If God
It's
didn't
not a
make us.
who, it's not a who made me. It's not that. Technically, I come out of my mother's womb.
Um,
So
And I
Auntie
came from
Auntie
my
Cheryl,
father's loins,
I'm trying to
technically.
understand what she's saying. I'm
Auntie
lost.
Cheryl, let's try this a different way. Cause I see you
Oh,
getting
wait
worked
a
up
minute,
with
wait
the.
a minute now. Now, a third grader can understand this now. You sit there and said, Cheryl Grabowski, who made you? Well, technically, this is what happened. My mother and my father got together, and with her body and the way that it's designed, and his body, the way that it's made, they got together, they had chemistry, they did what they did, and then I inherited from the spirit world a body. So I came in here into this body, but I existed before I had the body.
Yeah, but the way
Because
that you were
whatever,
designed by
listen,
your
whatever
parents.
is alive, whatever comes from the spirit is eternal anyway. The only thing I'm doing is encompassing a body. I'm a spiritual being on an earthly journey. This ain't my first journey, and it ain't gonna be my last. Whatever is born and lives never cease to exist. Now I'm talking about, that's why when I said people need to raise their consciousness, they really do. And the first thing you got to do is get rid of that scary thing and that idea that you got to worship something or that something requires you to worship it. For what? For what?
So
No,
So, Auntie, I'm gonna try to
no.
move right for the religion with my argument because mine ain't based in religion. I see you getting worked up. Mine is based in the human experience, like yours is. I'm just saying, I know people need
Okay.
affirmation. Like, have you ever been watching like a TED talk or a video? And you be like, they cooking, they talking directly to me. Like, I feel like that's in us without religion, regardless of religion. And you know what else is
Right.
groupthink? Because groupthink, I watched the whole video and it talked about groupthink and how we were we were we were made with confirmation biases, and because the group think makes you survive in the pack or the group because they have the larger numbers, and back in the day they was doing a lot of conquering. We're still wired like that. So I look at it like, if we need daily affirmation, and if we feel like we're stronger in numbers, then why wouldn't, like, I feel like people that go to church, I still go to church. I don't have the same experience as everybody else, but when I'm in church, I'm really observant, and I'm like wide awoke, and I'm looking at the pastor, how he jumping up and down and how he's talking, and I'm looking at the band and how they playing. I'm looking at the members and what they feeling, and like it's crazy because nobody knows that I'm thinking this. I'm psychoanalyzing everybody in church, but I'm looking at it like this is the culture, like that came with black people. But there was a book that I read a while back. It was called Jesus of Nazareth, and I can't remember the author. He had a Muslim name. It was like Rizza or something like that. And the reason I read it because my teacher told me it was one of the most important books, right? And what he said in there is that the people who came up with the ancient texts, they didn't mean for it to be taken in a literal sense, right? So if I wanted to say
Right.
Cheryl was a good-hearted person, I would say one day me and Cheryl was walking down the street. It was a homeless person there. She gave her the shoes off her foot. See, what happened is the people who wrote it didn't think that the people after were going to take it in a literal sense. It's supposed to be allegory. So when
Okay.
people
Okay.
take it in a lit,
So I agree with that, but not only allegory, it's not only that. It is, and it's no more or no less. And let me just tell you, this is on the foundation that I live. Spiritual, no, we're going to take the word spiritual out. You got to take that out because the literature is not spiritual, it is human. Okay. So let's just say this: you have men and women who wrote about what they think about God and what they believe that God has said. And it's more about us observing, reading it, and what do we think about that which we have read and what has been said. What do you think about it? It's not, it is no like, Cheryl, I need you to do one, two, three, four. I got these 10 commandments, Cheryl, and I need you to obey them. Okay, what you need me to obey them for? Like, huh? Most of us can't keep them. We can't keep them anyway. So, and if you don't do this, Cheryl, then I'm going to do something to you. I'm going to penalize you for not being able to keep these commandments, because this is my commandment. Well, my thing is this: when a fish is made, it stays in the water because it's there by design. Okay. When you got a buffalo, he do what buffalo do because he's designed to do buffalo things. But when you got a human, you're going to tell me that I got to keep these regulations right here, that I can't just by nature, just like the buffalo or the fish. I can't figure it out and live, but I got to have this thing over me, hovering over me all the time, trying to figure out, oh, somebody done made a list. I got to check and make sure that I do this. And it's giving paranoia. It's given, no, thank you. It's given, I've got to live and learn and experience life. I don't need to be worried about no paranoid God over me, saying that he gonna do this and that, and if I don't obey him. God ain't never said that. It is the biggest host of all creation. It really is. That is a man who sat down and wrote that because he desires to be worshiped just like any other narcissist. Period. I'm done.
Uh, I don't disagree
No,
with
I
the,
said
the
no.
the ending that you said, but I mean, I don't like I said the people that wrote it didn't meant for it to be taken a literal sense, so they couldn't have wrote it for them to be
Well, if
worshipped.
you
But
keep on saying it wasn't meant to be taken in a literal sense, when the black church takes it literal, darling. I know. I've been in there. I've been around church over 30 something years.
well,
They
listen,
literally
I just
say it
said
is the unadulterated word of God and they take it literal.
you got to remember a lot of those pastors. You know what I mean? They didn't study the Bible. They didn't study the people who wrote the Bible. So they it's dogma. They just saying what they heard. So I
I
mean, like
know
I
it's
said,
dogma, but when I'm telling you, they still doing it now and they're still teaching their children that now. They're still
and
doing
that's
it.
and there's a rise in there's two things that the younger generation are doing. They're not having babies, and they not Christian in the sense of going to church every day and stuff like that. But I think honestly, like you gotta always look at the alternative, right? Because listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wear the white man last name, so maybe I done been whitewashed by him too much. But I believe that we need order. Like I was studying the other day,
But you
like
can have order. You can have order without commandments and biblical text. Everybody feels like if we get rid of these writings, then we will have nothing. But see, the consciousness, the boxer, of the whole universe is rising. We are getting away from that literature, from that dogma. We're getting away from it because we can't go into the higher heights with it. You can't. If you always got this thing over you or this ceiling or these commandments, this is the thing. They call it sin, but you can't learn. The way that you learn is by trial and error and mistakes. So you call it sin all you want to, but that's the evolution. That's how it works. On my channel, I talk about the brain all the time. That's why I'm always talking about the brain, the brain, the brain, the brain. I'm talking about the sensory nervous system and the body and how it works. Okay. This is an upgrade to biblical text. When it says that a person is carnal minded and you walk in the spirit and not by the flesh, that's old school. We're done away with that. Okay. You're going to come back and we're going to say, oh, the brain learns. That's his job. That's all it does is take in information. Number one. Number two, you have beliefs and you have emotions. So you have a soul. So all of these things are working inside of you. You have memories and you have things that has been done to you. Everybody want to talk about the little promiscuous girl, but nobody want to talk about the uncle that put his hands under her skirts when mama was in the kitchen. Everybody want to talk about, oh, she around here sleeping with this one and that one. Nobody never said anything about, well, this program that she running by, Somebody put that into her. That's a code.
I do,
It's
Auntie.
she's been coded.
I do. I do. I talk about that.
Okay, so if she's been coded, guess what? Now she's dealing with the sin of her uncle, right? And but it doesn't matter because the body is what the body does, what the body does. That the
Uh-huh.
coding is already there. So what she got to do? She got to pray, go down to the altar, ask for some oil to be put on her, ask the pastor to put his hands on her. When he get home, he's secretly thinking about sleeping with her too. He might even say
I hope,
something to her about it.
hope,
He
hope,
might see
hope.
the promiscuousness on her and say, what's up? I give you $200. But don't nobody see that. Everybody want to talk about the promiscuity, but the thing is that this thing has been done to her. Nobody was around when it was done, and the only thing you can see is the evidence of it, which is or the fruit of it. That's her promiscuity, but she can't even speak her truth because no wonder if she say something about that motherfucking pastor, everybody gonna fall out and die, and they might even say, "Look, I need you to be quiet because I need you to save the ministry." But who's gonna save her? Hmm?
You got to remember, Auntie. We from two different generations, so well, I wouldn't call that
How old are
sin.
you?
34.
Okay, you the age of my children.
So
Um,
I wouldn't necessarily call that sin. And I know about it. I know about the family protecting the family pervert. I know about all that stuff because I talk. The family room. One thing about black families, they know. They might not say, but they know. Somebody knows something. So I know all the stories about the past, but I just look at it a little bit different. Even though I know the history of what you're saying, I know the trauma that all that caused. You know what I
hey, a
mean? I
brilliant.
look I look at it
Oh,
like
you know what? But you know what? The boxer, the church don't acknowledge the trauma. They don't. First of all, when it comes to the trauma and the mental illness, they don't want to deal with that at all. Because
the church I
and
go to
I
does.
hate to tell you this, but a lot of it got something to do with they don't give a fuck. That's the first thing. I hate to tell you, baby. It's just like when you got a well-run machine and the pastor make the money he need to make, and he got this ministry that and then everybody look at him and he get this prestige, him or her, because you got female pastors. So they got this well-running machine. They're not trying to evolve. Mm-mm.
The church I go to does. He
Mm-mm.
does therapy and everything. He brings in cancer. Like he actually he fuses it. He don't just stay stuck in the old ways. He fuses it with what you said, like the human brain, the anatomy, and stuff like that. But I look at it like
That's good.
are we better off now? Because you remember we talked about the internet and how, like with the Finney situation, how somebody just went up and shot somebody on camera. How a dude just bullied the hell out of them online because right now what we're doing is we're interfacing with computers. So that's just changing the game, right? Because we don't know how to feel, we don't know how to react. Like we don't know life is reality is getting kind of blurred right now. So are we better off without order online? And I don't think that we are. I think we need more order.
We are better off without spiritual literature, yes. And as far as what you call order, what we need to do is elevate and evolve and get connected with our true self. Get this trauma fixed. Go into therapy, and get all of that stuff cleaned out. Speak your truth. Be more authentic, and that's what we need to do. But we don't need to go back to these old systems because these systems are dying. Okay, people are
Auntie,
leaving.
guilt is gone. Nobody want to guilt nobody no more. That's why when people do stuff bad online, they don't feel bad about it. Like you remember you talked about how you feel like a man is over you. That's wrong to feel, but it still gave people guilt about their actions. If they did something wrong to somebody, they would feel guilty. Guilt is gone. They do the most heinous stuff to people that they don't even know online. They will call their jobs. They will call housing. They will do all this stuff and then want to do more. I guarantee had that dude not been unalive, they would have did another year, whole year of just trauma to this guy because
Oh,
guilt
it
is
is
gone.
trauma. It is. It is. All of that is absolute 1000% trauma, low vibration. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Some people say, "Oh, it's sin." It's trauma. it's
I don't know
trauma.
necessarily that is sin. I look at it like this. Human beings know that we all got an expiration date, every single one of us, right? So
Yes,
we
yes,
have a
yes.
certain amount of energy. Our energy is finite. So that's why sometimes our brain be lazy. Like we know the right thing to do, but it's harder. So we're like, nah, I'm gonna just do that. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm gonna just cut this corner right here. I'm gonna cut that. And I feel like if you ask the average human being if they want a hard life or an easy life, 100% of them gonna say easy life. So you take that mindset of how our mind naturally is, and then you introduce this thing called the internet, where you can get unlimited dopamine rushes, whether you're watching the hub, whether you're on YouTube doxing people, like you're exposed to a lot of dopamine. And if you look at studies on what dopamine does to the brain, it makes you
I know
kind of
what it
numb
does
to
to the
life.
brain.
So that's what I'm trying to say. So we're dealing with a generation who is numb to people's feelings and mental health while claiming that we should be in tune with their mental health, and the guilt is gone. So we're the trajectory that we're headed on, to me, is a dark path.
Hello?
I'm still here. I thought I froze up.
No, it was me. I'm just like, what in the world? Um, who is this? Remove. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what just happened. Oh, you too, Nikki. Have a good night, darling. But what you were saying though, the boxer.
I was basically saying that, the trajectory that we headed on is a bad trajectory because we have an overstimulated brain through dopamine rushes because we can get it at any time. And we have guilt being removed from human beings. And that's why we have the society. I think that we're headed in
Guilt
the
is
wrong
not
direction.
the boxer. The boxer. Guilt is not good.
Why not?
You can feel guilt. Um, but you've got to remove guilt, because what you need more than anything is love, patience, and kindness and forgiveness of yourself. The problem is the reason why we hurting other people because we hurting ourselves. That's what we do that to people for. That hurt is in us. That's why we need to heal. You know what I'm saying? Because when you love yourself and you're patient and kind and you don't, all that guilt is not good. Guilt is not a good thing. Like,
I
no.
disagree, Auntie. I think what you said earlier, if the creator created fish for water and that's natural to them and he gave us guilt, then guilt could be a good thing.
I'm
If
not going to say
anything,
that the creator gave us guilt. I'm not going to say
well,
that.
then why do we feel it? Where did it come from? It had to come from somewhere.
It's emotions. It's the part of the human experience, but
It's an emotion
I'm
that
not
you
going to
need,
say that
like
the
fear.
creator gave that to us. No.
Okay, well, let me put it this way, right? So the best trainer in boxing, it was a white dude named Customado, right? And
Mhm.
he used to embrace fear. And most trainers, they want their guys to be strong. Oh, you go in there, you knock them out. We don't experience fear. Fear ain't a guy. All this so crazy stuff, right? But what he did, because he studied psychology, he said if a guy came to him and he wasn't afraid, he would send him to the doctor because something was wrong with him. It's something that nature gave you, and you have to make it a useful tool for you. And you remember
But
how you
like
just
you
listed all
said,
the
it's
things?
two sides of nature, the boxer. That's when the duality comes in. So it's the two sides, unless you are saying that God is both good and evil, light and dark, good and bad.
Yeah,
If that's what you're
yeah,
saying.
I agree with that. I'm not a
Oh, you agree
traditional,
with that?
like, yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
But what
Okay.
I was gonna say is so you got fear, and he talked about how you could turn it in fire and make it work for you. He was saying how it exists in your imagination because nature wanted to keep us safe from lions. You know what I mean? Predators that might unalive us.
Yeah.
So, but in certain circumstances, fear could get away from you and start making you imagine something that's never going to happen. You have to learn to control it. I think it's the same thing with guilt, meaning like, okay, you told me, you have to have forgiveness, you have to have love. I can have all those things and still harm my wife, whether it be cheating or, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, something that just hurt her feelings. But what makes me want to be like, man, I shouldn't do that again would be the guilt. That like to seeing her like that, to seeing her sad, to seeing whatever to make me want to
No, what
change.
makes you not want to do that again is the love, not the guilt.
There are Auntie, there are a bunch of
You just
people
want
who
to
claim
show
that they
up
love them.
more, you want to show up more loving, and then you're going to forgive yourself for doing that. You might have a twinge of guilt enough to turn, and then you want to show up in a loving way just because it's a better thing.
You can't skip the guilt, Auntie. It's part of
I say you
the
can have a
human
little
experience.
piece of guilt, enough guilt to redirect you to the love.
And that's
Okay,
what I'm
I
saying, Auntie.
messed
They
up.
don't have
You
no
could
guilt
say
these
more
days.
like, you could say more like, I messed up because of my humanness, right? I'm not a perfect person. I'm flawed. I've had experiences. I've got a range of emotions. Sometimes I'm just annoyed, or I don't want to be bothered, and I could whatever. And so all of this stuff, all of these things you do to yourself or inside of yourself so that you could show up for other people. But to hang on to guilt or shame, because those are some
No,
horrible,
I didn't say
shame is
hang on
horrible.
to it, but what I'm saying is they don't have none of it. That's what I'm trying to say, Auntie. They don't even have it.
They
So
do
the
have
process
some
that
of it.
they don't have none. Auntie, I've had conversations with these people and ask them like, so you don't feel bad about X? Y? I'm like, no. I'm like, what is like?
Okay,
I'm
listen.
too young to be saying back in my days.
That's on the surface. People always speaking from their ego. These are, when we over here, we deal with the layers. And when you're talking to a person, really, you have to be of a certain type of skill, because you're going to meet their representative. Up here is all of the ego and all of the mask and that thing that they've built. You can't even get to the lower parts of a person, because they put this thing up to protect them really from that tenderness, and that place of, I ain't gonna never let nobody hurt me no more. They have this big thing in up front that you can't really get to that other thing down there. That's what you're seeing.
Oh, I listen, 100% agree with everything you just said. I've actually said the same thing in a different way about the mask and, everybody having innocent love at one time, somebody taking it and they remember, whether it be a kid, adult, younger kid, I'm never going to experience this again. So they put up a hard exterior. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is on this app specifically, we talking about this app specifically, right? Where people are being unalive for they trolling, their opinion, they stealing the subs, the likes, and all this stuff. Those people, like when he turned himself in, he didn't have no remorse. He claimed self defense. Matter of fact, self defense insinuates it's his
It
fault
could
I
have
did to him.
been
Whatever.
okay. It could have been this. It didn't mean that he didn't feel a whole range of emotions. It could have been that he made a decision. You know what I mean? I mean, this man, he could have ran. There is honor, in my opinion. I hate to say it like this, because I see it in it could be like he didn't care, he didn't give no two, or it could have been the opposite of that. Yeah, I did it, and I'm willing to pay the price for that which I've done.
So I don't know, because the news get it wrong sometimes. But from what I've seen, they said that he went away at first. He fled at first, and when he
Oh,
fled,
really?
he went to his wife, and she was like, "Go turn yourself in." And he didn't want to turn himself in at first, and then she called them and told them that she believed her husband might have unalive somebody, and also his friend was trying to convince him to turn himself in because it was becoming a big deal. Like they were looking for him. So then that's when he went to the station. They have the video of it where he turned himself in. But even his reaction was just like, you know what? I remember this because I've always been fascinated with psychology, right? I remember
Me
I
too.
was watching with my favorite cousin. We was watching like Snap, one of those shows. I can't remember which one. But in there, it was the lady who unalived her husband because he snitched. And we could not believe, like, girl, this is your husband. How
Snitch,
you going by street codes?
snitched
She
on who?
unalived. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the case was. I just her logic was he snitched, and that's why I took his life. And I remember the therapist that was analyzing the lady was like, this is just an exterior. She really feels remorse. And I remember thinking, like, I don't think she does. I know that people try to view life the way that they are. You know what I mean? Because if you was in that situation, you would be like, yeah, I'm trying to act tough, but really, I do feel bad. But I think there are some people out there who are just messed up, and they don't feel remorse. Like the Jeffrey Dahmers, you know what I mean? The Ted Bundys. Ted
Now,
Bundy
see,
was doing it for
me and
sport.
my excuse me and my coach, we had a conversation about Domner, and I said what you said, and she doesn't agree with that. She believes that Domner uh, wasn't like a monster. That's what she believes. She believes that somewhere down in there, that he is a regular, not a regular person, but that he is not all dark. I. That's what I believe, because I can't imagine eating a person like, huh? Like, why would you, like, all the stuff he did? Oh God, is unthinkable to me. But she still had empathy for him, and she felt like, you know, he wasn't the
You
worst
know
thing in the
why I
world.
think that you know why I think that her confirmation bias is kicking in right there is because if we would look at somebody who's autistic and say, they have a problem, a personality disorder, right? Meaning like they don't understand certain type of emotions. So we understand that brains have spectrums. Then why would you look at somebody who showed us who he was, eating the human beings, and say, well, no, deep down inside, covered up under all that them human carcasses is a little boy that's like, nah, you got to look at the situation for what it was. I think that he definitely looked at it as sport. I think, honestly, I think that you know how you go to the zoo and you see the lion and he all fat because he ain't doing what God designed him to do. I honestly think because we're brought our food package, you know what I mean? Because we're doing like it's triggered something in people because they're not out hunting for their food. And like I said, could be a overstimulation of dopamine. I think the people like them, they go out and they hunt, but they're hunting humans. They should be hunting animals. I think that's what like it's misguided or misdirected. They kind of some miswiring. That's what I think.
Me too. Me too. It is something was gravely wrong with him. He could have grew up with parents that didn't hug him, kiss him, and tell him that he loved them to start with, and then it could have been, it gotten way worse than that. Domner was just, yeah. But we have some humans that are like that, though. I don't know what the answer to it is, but yeah, yeah, he was a complete monster. It's terrible. Yeah, terrible. But anyway, it was nice for you to listen. I want you to come up again when we have another conversation. I really enjoyed you, and you stayed to the end,
Okay,
even after
definitely.
I got triggered.
Because you gotta remember this, Auntie. I grew up in a black family. I'm used to that. My aunt told me I was a dummy for not voting for Joe Biden whenever he ran against Bernie Sanders because I voted. She told me she wasn't gonna talk to me. So you gotta remember, I know I'm more patient with our community because I understand how it functions. You know what I mean? Like
What? Well, who did you vote for?
Bernie, I voted for Bernie against Biden whenever he ran the first time. I think it was what 2020.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she told me that I was dumb and I didn't know what I was doing. And I can't. She said a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, "All this you've been knowing me all my life, and one decision you just gonna disown me." But I already knew what that was. I know that people get offended when you don't agree with them. Their brains is wired towards group think, so they automatically assume you on the other team, so they get passionate. I understand all these things, so I got a lot of patience.
Oh, yeah, me too. I see trucker's wife drop down because what I realize is that women in my generation, when I speak on religion, is like grinding nails. It's really hard for them to facilitate the idea, especially when I talk about um, the God of the Bible or the Hebrew God, any fear-based religion, anything that says God is this big thing and he'll destroy you if you don't obey him. I reject that. Period.
Yeah, you shaking up worlds, Auntie. You got to remember that's
Huh?
a lot. You shaking up worlds. You got to remember when you say that, the a defense response come into their head. They be like, I don't want to hear this. No, no, no. We ain't gonna do that. Because
Well,
even when they talk about
you
God,
have to do it, because if you let a God dominate you, then you're gonna let other people do it too. And I don't feel like that you were put here in this world to do that. And the only thing it'll take is that certain people in your life say, "Oh, well, God is speaking to me," and you will automatically yield. And I'm not yielding to any of them because I've done it before, so I know not to do
depending
that.
on what they say. Now, God told him, "Give me a
Yeah, well, I
Lamborghini." I
don't
ain't
care
gonna
what
argue
they
with him.
say. I just rather them keep their God ideas to their self, and let me have mine, because I need a strong line of individuality and anatomy. I have my own thing. Nobody's to bother with it. See what I'm saying? Period. So don't tell me nothing about what, because I'm too grown now. I'm 54. So I just don't need that. When I was a child, that's one thing. But no, I'm too way down the road. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Because a lot of
Wait,
people
hold
don't
up,
even know
Auntie.
what God has said to them. And the first thing they want to do is tell you what God, it's the God said thing that annoys me to the heavens. I despise
Hold
it.
up, Auntie. You can't be like, well, I'm this old and I can't learn anything else. There got to be
No, no,
something
no.
that you
I'm not
might
talking
change
about
on them.
learning. No, no, no. No, I ain't talking about not learning. I do my due diligence. I don't need thou to teach his thy. I do it every day. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, just like I don't need you to pay my mortgage, like I don't need that. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna get the money. I'm gonna take care of that. Just let me take care of this over here. Let me do that. And don't feel no type of way when I don't yield to what you say. You get your emotions together. You get them together. Because I ain't going to tell you nothing about what God said. I promise that I won't. I really want you to do a deep dive and figure this thing out for yourself, because hey, that's why you came into the world. Yeah, it's too much of God said. It's very annoying. Everybody know that over here about me. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Unsolicited, I agree. But if they ask, then yes. Like meaning, like there are some people who are seeking that. You know what I mean? Like, what some God told me that you going through something. Here's $20. That's kind of positive. I wouldn't disagree with that situation.
That would bother me too.
What? That's happened to my wife before. She was broke, Auntie, and she was in line, and somebody said, "God put it
Just
on my
do
heart to
this.
pay for your bill."
Listen, just do this. Sure. I want to give you something, because this happened to me at work not too long ago, right? It was this woman and she had a situation and it was big. Woo, one of those small ones, it's a massive one, right? So I had some cash in my purse, right? And I wasn't trying to be a saint or nothing like that. Nothing like that. I had some cash in my purse. And that night, I wanted her to eat what she wanted, period. So I gave her $100 bill, just gave it. And I didn't say anything. I said, can you take this from me? She was like, oh my God, thank you. I said, you're welcome. That's it. Now, if she says, Cheryl, God bless me through you, I'll accept that. But I'm not going to tell her God told me to do it, because just why can't I just be a person? Because that's what I am, that wanted to help her out. That's it. That's it.
Well, in your situation, you was moved by you. In some situations, they move by God, so they can
Okay,
promote.
but
That's their
see,
business card.
what I'm saying is, this what I'm saying. It was a God thing, right? Very godly. Because she had a need and I met her at her need instead of telling her I was going to pray for her. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I might pray for you. I'll just tell you to pray for yourself, because that's going to work. That's going to be more effective for you. But I'm just going to give you what you need in real time. And what you need is physical money so that you can eat the way that you want to tonight.
I think. Well, I'll say this before we get up out of here, because I know you're trying to end it. I'll say this. I think the people that you're referring to, Auntie, I think those people don't believe in God. I think they're the real atheists. I think that they see desperate people, they see people in need, and then they look at the Bible and they manipulate it to get exactly what they want, kind of like 48 laws of power type stuff. I think those people don't possibly believe in God. They don't think it's no punishment for their actions, so they manipulate the people that actually do. But I think they're the problem. The narcissist people are the people who manipulate the vulnerable people, not the
Oh
people who
yeah.
are
Oh
vulnerable.
yeah. I totally agree with you. I've met in my lifetime many of them. Oh my God. Where they literally said, I'm going to do ministry. It's a lot of money in it. And they do it. They don't necessarily believe in, it's not in their heart. They literally work this thing like they would any other business. Period. Mm. Let me see. Somebody said, are you okay? Wow, after being a pastor for so many years, you were truly hurt by the church, and I'm sorry what happened. Yeah, I'm more than okay. It's somebody said, well, it's all about the church. And who hurt you? Since I look at myself as being an intelligent person, right? As far as being able to read and understand the doctrine using my Hebrew, Latin, Greek, Bible, concordances, dictionaries, topical Bibles, revised Bibles, dates Bibles, new international Bibles, all kinds of Bibles, books, commentary, because that's the type of Christian that I was. I wasn't an ordinary Christian. I did my research. Not only did I do my research, I lived the lifestyle. Not only did I live the lifestyle, me and my husband, we taught our children, and we were all things God for a long time, not just regular people, not like that, not like that, just in it, like really living the life. And so I studied my way out of religion. If you ever do your due diligence, if you never not go to your Bible to write a sermon, if you never not go to your Bible to read this topic and to answer somebody for what they have said, but if you ever with a pure heart, I'm talking about like love that Bible like you love your children or you love your spouse, like love your mother, you do anything for your mama. So if you've ever loved it and then went into it, you'll come out, because then you realize that this is a story of people telling their story, you have your own. And not only that, there's so many different places in the story where you be like, no, God didn't say that. God didn't say that. Period. I don't believe that. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so that's what happened. But anyway, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. And so anybody else got anything else to say? Cause honey, I'm on a roll, honey. I'm on a roll. Yeah, I don't really like talking about religion that much because, like I say, a lot of people they churchgoers and they do what grandma and them said, and they read they read their little scriptures, honey, and they think they memorize their scriptures, honey, and they memorize their doctrine. They be thinking, oh, I got the answer for this, and that's not it. That is not it. I've been there, done all of that. Trust me when I tell you. I studied my way out. Let's see. Yeah, I studied my way out. Y'all just scared. Y'all are scared. You're scared. You're scared of the angry God. You're scared. You're scared of hell. I know what's wrong with you because I used to be like that. You're scared of hell. You don't want to miss hell and not realize that if you ever really studied your Bible, you in trouble. If you ever realize that if you ever studied your Bible, you are not safe. You're not safe. But if you listen to your pastor, you might feel like you're safe because they preaching for tithes and offering. But if you ever study your Bible, you ain't safe because there's too many judgments. It's too much. It's too many judgments. And like I said, most people don't know what their Bible say. They just practicing. Oh, it's so annoying. I don't want to pick on y'all. I don't want to pick on you. But I know you didn't do what your Bible said. You didn't do it. You didn't. You're not doing it now. You're not doing it. You ain't never did it, and you're not doing it now. I know that because I know too many Christians. Yeah, I'm not the one to talk to about that, baby. I know too many bishops and apostles and missionaries and evangelists and teachers and prophets. I know too many. They never did what the Bible said. They just having church. That's all. All right. So anyway, if all hearts and minds clear, I love y'all. I really, really do. I don't like talking about religion because most of the people that's in the chat ain't never been on my level at all. Um, and so it ain't no need to talk to you because you don't even really know what your Bible say. You don't. You might go to a Bible study here or there, and you might be up under this preacher for a while, going to this church. You might watch your television evangelist or whatever. And then you might read your Bible too and not understand it, because my ex-husband was like that. He studied the Bible all the time, but he didn't have a good comprehension level, so he didn't understand it. See what I'm saying? He did not understand it. So a lot of times I would go and I would look at it and I would read it, and boy, and he was like, well, how do you know that? Well, he didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, let me end the live with saying this here about these people on this enter to the net messing with this man. Even though I say what I say about religion, I know not to push people to a certain level. I know not to be trolling and doxing all my life, every day, all day, to like the boxer said, to have dopamine, to feel like I'm a person. And folks need to stop doing that. And I just really feel like I'm going out on a limb and say this. I'm waiting for you to change them rules and regulations, because it's going to change, period. And for you guys that listen to me talk about that religious book, it's not me, baby. It's millions, hundreds of millions of people who've come to the same realization that I've came to. Whether you are a Christian and you follow in the Old Testament, whether you are a Jew and you're following the Torah, because all of them follow the Torah, or just any of those fear-based religion, Muslims, anything like that, Egyptian, I don't care what it is. It is man's opinion about God. Okay, that's all it is. It's man's opinion about what God has said. And I feel like that life is watching you to observe you, to see what you think about what is said, and especially what is said about God. You guys say you know the Bible. When you think about the story of the prophet that felt like that he was that the bear ate the children because they picked at his bald spots. And he felt like that God did that. And that the children should be ate up because they picked at him. Y'all need to go somewhere. Go on somewhere now. Go ahead. Go on back to Sunday school. Do something. Because I'd be annoyed. But kisses and hugs, I feel like this was a good live. And let me end with this. Because some of y'all is going to blow your head off because you didn't even know. God is not male. God is female. Anyway. God ain't never been male. That's a lie. It's not true. It's not true. That colonizer's Bible and religion, what it has done to women, but women are waking up all over the planet. And I don't know how many years it'll take, whether it'll take another 100 years or 200 years, but women will be in charge again, like they should have been from day one. I don't know what happened. Okay? God is not masculine. God is feminine. God is strong. God is wise. And God don't have a bear eating children because a man's ego was hurt. And the prophet said the children should be ate up and mauled by the bear because he was felt some type of way because the children picked at his bald spots. That's in y'all's Bible. Oh, it's so annoying. Because you don't know it. You only know what your pastor teaching in Sunday school. And it get on my nerves. All right? It get on my nerves. It gets on my nerves. God is not male. God is female. Hmm. They put that in there too. They messed that up and flipped that and bounced that and put it in there the wrong way. Okay? Talking about Jesus got pregnant. I mean, not Jesus, but Mary got pregnant with Jesus at 13. And the Holy Ghost impregnated her. Look, that story was told 10,000 years before Jesus was born. I can't. Please, y'all, don't do it. Please don't come over here with me with that stuff because it's crazy. Again, I say hundreds of millions, like Donald Trump say, of people all over the planet already know that. It's so annoying. It's annoying. And some of y'all listen to me say this. You say, oh no, girl, Cheryl Grabowski is lying. Could you please do your research? The story of Jesus of Nazareth is not, they borrowed it. We want his name won't even Jesus. The same exact story was told. The same exact story was told tens of thousands of years before the Bible was even thought about. It doesn't belong to the Western world, the colonizers. They stole them African people's literature. Jesus, Lord, it's so annoying. And then they named him Jesus and put the picture up of the white man. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God. The black church, going back to what I said, the box, I don't know if you're still here. The black church is the biggest hindrance to the evolution and the consciousness and the awakening that's going on in the planet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hence is why the T channel people always praying and being acting like the black church. And you see that shit don't work. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See that don't work. Ooh, y'all want me to be scared of a mean God so bad, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? So a lot of y'all ass gonna get into the spirit world, and y'all the one that's gonna find out. You think it's gonna be me, but it's gonna be you for believing all this crazy shit that you believe. You believe that's just like if somebody told your children all kind of terrible things about you, and it's not true. And because that person was a convincing person, they convinced your child all manner of evil against you, and you had not done those things. So then you come and you go and you confront your child and you say, and your child said, well, mama, the reason why I did this is because they said this and that about you. Then you say to your child, well, why do you believe that about me? I'm your mother. Have you ever seen me do those things? And the child said, no, mama, ain't never seen you do it. Then the mama said, well, why do you believe that about me when you've never seen me do that? And that's how God gonna be with some of y'all, the female God, because you're gonna be looking for a man, a white one, and that's not what's gonna be there. Mm-mm. Then your God gonna say, well, why did you believe that about me? Hmm? Why? And then then the only defense you gonna get is say, because the people at the church told me that. And then God will say, that's all it took for the people at the church to tell you that. Why didn't you reach inside your heart and see whether or not I had said that to you? Hmm? Why are you so afraid? Where does that fear come from? What have I done to you to make you fear me? You know what I mean? Oh, I know how you got afraid. Because the people over at the church told you scary stories. So really, they spoke against, God is saying, they spoke against me. They did spoke against me. Why would they do that? Oh, they did that because they want to be God. Mm, yeah. They want to worship. They want you to worship them. They want you to run everything through the church, through the Hebrew Bible or the Jewish Bible. They want you to run everything through, and then if you run everything through that, then you uphold their system, and they always stay on top. But God never needed a book. God never needed a book to communicate with you. Me personally, I've been having conversations with God ever since I was a little bit of girl. Sitting by myself, just by myself, communicating with God. Why? Why was I doing that? Oh, yeah, because I'm gifted. Those energies came with me when I was born from the beginning. I'm not going to replace that system for the church mouth. Hell no. Have you ever been to church before? Have you ever seen those people? Do you know these televangelists? Do you know Creflo Dollar? Do you know Kenneth Coleman? Do you know what is her name? Catherine Kuhlman? Catherine Kuhlman was a mighty matriarch. She was the most spiritual woman. She was a white lady. And everybody admonished Catherine Kuhlman. But she died broke in a toxic relationship. And she knew everything God said except for what God said to her. I'm going to need y'all, and I'm going to end this. I need you to stop worshiping people. I need you to stop doing it. And the first person I need you to stop worshiping is that church in that Bible. The consciousness of the people is rising all over the world, and it has nothing to do with religion. So part of my job here, other than being a narc slayer, because the Bible is very narcissistic, very, is to let you know that. All right. But anyway, kisses and hugs. I'll see y'all the next time. I love y'all.